Yo,
Yo,
you can hear me?
loud and clear.
What's the deal? How you feeling?
Yo, feeling good, bro. My Knicks won, you know, always a good time.
Yeah, you skeptical about him at first.
Hell, because Orlando bust our ass twice this year. So, I
Yeah,
know it's a formidable opponent. They like to play hard defense and get up and down. I'm sorry they had a player get injured, but I'm happy, we got the dub.
yeah, no, where Orlando smooth. They like one trade away from being like I wouldn't say the next team, but they definitely one of them teams I would say like give a team a scare, a game seven second rounders I would call it.
Yeah, I mean, they made a little noise last year. They got Bankero, man, and those Wagner brothers, they real.
Yeah, no, where I fuck with Ben Carroll too. I ain't gonna cap, he good as hell. Like I think he just came back from injury too, not too long ago.
Yeah, and they got Suggs, they got a nice little nucleus. Orlando always, got like pretty good athletes.
Yeah, that's the success part though. Every so often, I feel like they get that little breeze bit of success. I
Yeah,
know
they fight and never get back to Shaq and Penny.
no, no. See, Dwight was to me. I fuck with Shaq, but I don't feel like Shaq got a lot of Orlando. I would say he more so the Lakers. What's his name? He went to the finals and then he got rookie of the what's his name his shit. But I would take Dwight over Shaq all the time for Orlando. Dwight beat Bron.
Really?
He beat Bron and he won one game against that Lakers team. Like I don't think this generation realized how good Dwight was at center. Like for real, for real.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
know
I
he
remember.
got jerked in the slam dunk contest. I give him that. Yeah, he should have won it.
Yeah, no, word. He still should be in the league too, no cap. And give everybody a little bit of chance to get in for we kind of really get started. People in the chat.
He playing with the big three.
Yeah.
It's like the
Uh,
2B version of the NBA.
yeah. The big three would be cool. I don't know. To me it just I don't know, it's just something that's missing with that competitiveness. Like I feel like they competitive, don't get me wrong, and you get some good games out of them, but for overall I feel like it's like just that little bit of that itch to watch the game, if that makes sense to you. Like
Yeah,
even
you start watching it and you're like, oh, now I remember why they're not in the league no more.
especially like man, I turned to one of them games and what was it? Michael Beasley was just ISOing somebody, and it was like, I mean, it's just one on one basketball. But
I
I
ain't
get
gonna
it.
front. Michael Beasley is one of my favorite all-time NBA players. He really is. He had one of the best quotes ever. He said, "I'm your favorite player's favorite player." Like that shit.
Between him,
So
LeBron, and OJ Mayo, them is probably the craziest people I've ever seen play in real life. Like Michael Beasley play in real life. Like I remember it was like in high school, he was like this when AAU was kind of a little bit more competitive than how it was then. Like I just remember him walking into the gym with like his hoodie on and like we uh we was more the OJ Mayo fans, so I'm like, man, he ain't even that good. Man, when he went out there and hooped, I'm like, nah, man, bro is
true,
crazy.
Joe.
Bro,
It's
Michael
true.
Beasley is crazy. Like he dunking over people, pull up, step back. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was like the most dominant player I've ever seen touch a basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he scored really every time he touched the ball.
He's a legit problem.
Every time he touched the ball. Yeah, yeah. What time is it? Oh yeah, 47. Yeah. We get started because we kind of really got off to a late start. I'll let you kind of really kick things off. Just let people know how you feeling after showcase. How showcase go for you?
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Look, it was really dope. I we laughed and we joked about it afterwards because, we had like so many plans and things we wanted to do, but it was like once the game started, Game plan went out the window. We just threw that sucker out the window and we just started rolling. But it all came together really nice, man. We had a really nice, talented group of models. I think you did a phenomenal job of getting everybody styled, for like not only for the looks, but like for like each model and like what they would like really look good wearing. Really came out in the photos and the videos. So man, it was great, man. Really good stuff. And the stuff in the evening, I got to give everybody props for like staring at the weather.
I know that
They
for
was
my
all
time.
troopers. Yeah. And, we really came through with some nice images at night too. It was dope.
The night limit, I think the night, I was telling you that kind of really before the showcase when we was talking about our preparation and going through the shit that we had to kind of really prepare for this show. I like, yo, this is gonna be almost like a movie scene, and it's gonna be different scenes, and it's gonna have you gonna have your highs and you gonna have your lows, and you gonna have those like good points, and it's gonna be at times you gotta kind of really work through tough situations and communicate and stuff like that, but. I feel like once we got to the terminal, that kind of really was like a perfect example of kind of really what I was referring to. Because I feel like at that point, it was like really no pressure. We had got the showcase completed. We wasn't really kind of really pressing for time. And even though it was like, when I say cold, I don't think people realize how cold it was just looking at the picture. You could kind of really see though, yo, on the latest post that I had just posted with Mark. Like he literally, like, if you look at the video, yo, he literally like almost shaking and he tells Nels like, "Yo, hurry up and take the flick." I think people think like, "No, we was really cold, yo." Uh, but yeah, like what made it so dope was just seeing all the models' commitment. Like I told you, it was a very unique way of how I had to kind of really get everybody dressed. And I'm literally like, the Army terminal is big, so we all kind of really parked and spaced out and stuff like that. So I'm running from car to car. I'm getting everybody dressed and like I told them, what kind of really motivated me is I look over and I see you already set up and shoot, and I'm like, yo, like, you feel me? You literally already up there shooting. So it made it kind of really easier, and I'm like, yo, I just got to get somebody down here to get him dressed. But to me, that kind of really, like I said, just is a prime example of everything kind of really we building. Just seeing the community kind of really come together, seeing everybody kind of really be committed to getting those shots. And with it being cold, like I said, staying that late and that long, because at any time I felt like people could have been like, yo, I'm not staying here for that, and went home and stuff like that. So I tip my hat to all the models. We had a
It was
very
a long
special,
day. I
yeah.
mean, we literally started shooting at 11:30 when I took my first shot. And I think the last shot I took was around 9:30. So, people had a lot of staying power. I mean, it was food and beverages, but people still found the energy to keep that good vibe going. It really showed in the images. Yeah, people were very committed, man, and I was surprised because it was really the weather was a surprise. I think for everybody to think it'd be that cold.
No word. Shoot, we got a few comments. I think we got Clay in the chat. He said that craziness is what made it. No word, word. And it's crazy. I was touching with Christian on that. I feel like the whole experience, like me and you kind of really laughed about it, and me and Sam kind of really laughed about it as well. It almost gave us that Project Runway feeling where you kind of really pressing for time, and I'm looking over and I'm like locked in, and it's like I thought like you think okay, we're gonna be able to do this, and I'm gonna be able to have this together, and I'm gonna be able to do this and set up this, and these shots is what we're gonna do. And then when you there, it's like you pressing for time, and you just like I said, you just want to execute at that point. But like I said, what made it so easy is like just having that fabulous group of models and having people who was ready for that moment and getting changed quick and getting those shots. And I didn't really, with us kind of really preparing for the event and being inside the chat, like having the energy already set, so everybody already knew the mode and stuff like that to bring. So it kind of really made the showcase go easier, stuff like
Yeah, when
that.
I got home and I started unpacking, it was a straight baker's dozen, 12 props that had not been used. And it was really still props. So yeah, definitely some shots were left on the table, but I'm happy that we focused on what we focused on because I think taking your time and getting the quality shots of what you have in front of you is better than trying to hurry and scramble and squeeze everything into one, into one capsule. Those props will be there for another time, another place.
Yeah.
They're not going nowhere. They're right here in the closet. Um, and then, it's another way to kind of refine some ideas because I'm super happy with what I've done, but at the same time, I'm looking at images and I'm getting other ideas of other angles, other ways, we could have did some things. So yeah, I'm really excited for the next one already, like kind of getting some creative visionary towards how I might want to implement some things in the future, some concepts. I think all of the models have given some great feedback too.
You know,
Yeah, and what they really like. And
we haven't even scratched the surface. I feel like people get tired of me saying that, but it's so true. We don't even really be getting to scratch the surface, yo. I seen a post with Zaytoven and Gucci talking about how they go in there and they instantly like record 10 songs. I be telling people, I'm like, yo, that's how it is with me and Christian. We get like 20 photo shoots within one. So it's like you got so many images and so many photos to kind of really go through. And you know how it is with us. We kind of really just ping back and forth, edit, and just knocking down that wall to where we finally get done. And then next thing you know, we do a whole photo shoot and we drag it back to where we started at. So that's another dope experience, I feel like, coming
I think
together.
we have a good problem with too much content. So, it's a good problem to have.
Nah, word. Let's see. Somebody in chat said growth. How you feel about starting from a small town? Yeah, that's a good question. Shit. Me coming from Ohio, I went Columbus. Not the small town size wise. It's the 14th biggest what's name, but I would say it's a small town as far as being in the industry. Uh, One thing I would say, start from a small town would be is getting out of the small town for one. That would probably be the most important thing I would say to people. Is just getting out of that small town because when you leave a small town, you kind of really get a lot of experiences that you kind of really don't get to experience in those smaller towns. And you look at the world a certain way when you in those smaller towns and stuff like that. You see the same people throughout the week. You see the same people at the events and stuff like that. And every now and then you get those few people who I would say wander into the city and certain opportunities and stuff like that. But certain lifestyles and certain experiences and events and stuff like that you don't really get to experience in a smaller town. And same with the networking and stuff like that. When you're coming from those smaller towns, most of the times it's not a lot of people who made it from those places. And what that kind of creates is a very competitive environment. And inside that competitive environment, like it's not as much networking and working together. And me and you talk about that all the time, how important networking and community building is and working together. So I feel that's to me that's I would say the only disadvantage of being in the smaller towns is like it's more of a competitive feel. Not a lot of people in the smaller towns want to support you because you got to think when you're in those smaller towns, it's not like being in New York or being in LA where you can go from being at work to being in a Pepsi shoot or being a model for Telfair or having those type of opportunities. Like you got people kind of really pushing the factory or people having these odd jobs and stuff like that. So the last thing somebody want to hear about after kind of really going through a long, stressful day is like the exciting things that's going on in your life. So with that, I would probably say is just kind of really aligning yourself with your future. And I know it's easier kind of really said than done. You get a lot of people move to whether it's Atlanta or Houston or New York and these bigger cities, and they feel like the opportunity kind of really just fall on your hand. But even once you get out of those smaller cities, it's not like an instant success. And I feel like that's why the homeless rate in LA is how it is. The homeless rate in New York City is how it is because a lot of people think when you move to these bigger cities, the opportunities are just gonna fall in your hands, and it's often not really like that because at that point, like I said, you in those bigger cities, you got people who really been here the little small numbers I would say that you was putting up in your smaller city kind of really it don't really have the impact that it do in a bigger city and stuff like that. So you kind of really got to reinvent yourself when you move to those bigger cities and kind of really adjust. So if I'm still staying on conversation, the question and stuff like that, coming from a smaller city or coming from a bigger city or coming from any city, I would just say just be consistent and invest in yourself and invest in your time. you can't half step on nothing you do. Like a lot of times people pick these tasks up and then, you know, I'm pretty sure you've been with models who can probably committed, whether it's a week or whether it's a month or so, they committed for a short period of time and you get those small hiccups or those small roadblocks and then it's like they deteriorate themselves from their goals and stuff like that. And in that time, somebody else has came and take their spot. And it's harder to come back in after somebody kind of really took your spot because now people looking at you like, you going to leave again? It's going to be like last time. So I would just say being consistent. What about
You
you?
know,
What would you
I'm,
say?
I'm gonna add to that. I'm just gonna say, like, it doesn't really matter if you're from big town or small town. The main thing is to stay true to your vision and how you want to roll, right? Your style. Because I look at my experience as a youth, I was a New Yorker. And then all of a sudden I was in Chicago, I was in Memphis, and I still kept my New York style. And it was weird to these people, like, yo, this guy, he's wearing glasses, but there's no lenses in them. Like what is that? Right? But then, you know, I'm like a couple months later, I see people rocking their glasses with like the lenses in it. Like, okay, people like rocking my style. They feeling like what flavor I brought from my environment to this smaller environment.
Mhm.
Right. And like, you know, I don't have no big hype people. I'm just like me, myself. And you see people kind of adopting your style, your flavor, or at least recognizing that it is flavor. So just stay true to yourself. It doesn't matter if you're coming from a big place to a small place, from a small place to a big place. Stay true to yourself, to your values, to your creativity, your vision. It doesn't matter if nobody's fucking with it, right? They may not be feeling it. As long as you feeling it, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Nah, and it's crazy you bring that up because that's one of the topics I kind of really want to touch on with this live is that was kind of really the purpose of the Ghetto Fabulous showcase was just to get back to that raw authenticity. Like I was speaking with y'all before the show and inside the chat, a lot of times when we get inside these rooms or even if it's not these professional rooms, when we come around family members or come around friends or relationships and stuff like that, we often been taught to kind of really bend ourselves. They call it, I forgot it's a word for it. You know where you get a African American
Code
person
switching is
going
what it's
into a
called.
profession, yeah, and they get to
Yeah.
talking a certain type of way. And to me, like I said, that's why we have, I feel, a lot of people not knowing who they are, or what they like anymore, and stuff like that. Because we now it's really conditioned to where you got to be this way, entering the room, or you will not be allowed in that room. So I just want to get back to, like I said, people coming in these rooms as they raw, authentic self. And like I said, like you said, a lot of times it don't lead to that instant success and stuff like that. But like you said, over time, like people normally notice the swagger and they notice the vibe and stuff like that, and they kind of really want to attach themselves to it.
And not for nothing, man, when you be yourself, you actually adding more value. So if you're working with a client, you work with a customer, you're doing them a disservice trying to dumb yourself down. Bring your authentic self because that's what they really want. They want the new idea. They want the fresh flavor. So, you know, if you're trying to conform to something that you think something that, you know, you in your mind, you think that's what they want, what they really want is you. So yeah, just be yourself.
Now, touching back on the showcase, I know it was a lot of, like I said, moments throughout it. Do you got any favorite moments? I would say throughout the whole entire process.
I'm gonna tell you my favorite moment. Well, I actually have two.
Hmm.
Um, one was at the kind of like the beginning. It was kind of like when I called like that lathered up period because well, I was over lathered up because by that time I had changed my shirt. I had already sweated out one shirt, and I
Yeah,
changed my t-shirt, and we were setting up for the scene with the safes,
yeah,
and everybody was really in their bag, giving it up. The models were really like locked in on the concept. They were giving me everything I look for, minimal direction, and that just flowed so nice. So that was definitely one of my favorite parts. And then the other part was actually the show. The actual fashion show was lit with a lot of energy. Models
no,
came down. You know, we talked about the runway walk, and we didn't have really time to rehearse it. So a lot of it was just what
tell
we
with
rehearsed, you know, how many steps, you know, y'all rehearsed it a couple times inside, but for everybody to have minimal, you know, practice time on it, yo, they nailed it.
no
Uh,
word,
they
word,
nailed it. And it was like, I'm taking the shots, but I kind of want to just watch. So it was dope.
word, word. No, same. Like those definitely, like I said, some dope moments. I just remember, like I said, just looking over one time and your shirt dress. I'm like, he just put that shirt on. Like, so, so it was so funny. And then like what a lot of people kind of really don't know is I don't be sometimes around during these shots and shit like that. So I'm trying to sneak peek over and look at the shots and stuff like that while kind of really prepared and shit like that for the showcase. So that kind of really, like I said, was a fun moment and stuff like that. But for me, some moments, like I said, I would say highlighted or was fun for me. Of course, you've been hearing about me talk about it was a kind of the Soul Train line and stuff like that because I always wanted to do one of those. So it just get everybody's energy and everybody's involvement because you know sometimes people be like, man, I ain't jocking that. You feel me? Like it's over, but I ain't dancing. So to get some of the faces and shit like that that we did see to dance and stuff like that was kind of really a very unique moment.
It
And
was
another,
real. It was legit joy and energy from everybody. That's why I loved it. Yeah.
word. Yeah, and then like I said, it was like the post show too. So I feel like it was like, yes, everything done, everybody happy now. You feel me? We can get on to the next. Um, then another moment I would probably say I would just have to put that whole Brooklyn Terminal experience in general, like as far as a fun experience, like just from the vibes and stuff like that. Like I said, it was like an episode of Project Runway because you got Nate showing up. Like, I just remember everybody just running to
Yeah.
her arms and stuff like that. Excited to see her. And then, like I said,
And
some of the
Lenora.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
She was at the showcase though, so we seen her.
yeah,
We
but
seen
but
her.
like but like actually like on set as a model, like
Yeah,
getting
that
looks
is
for
right.
us.
That is right. That is
Yeah.
right. She did get some looks in. So yeah, no, yeah, that is definitely dope. So yeah, that's why I said just like seeing everybody. I don't know, just to seeing everybody, like I said, they're just kind of like I said, associating and enjoying themselves. And then, like I said, that moment, people don't know that was like raw, like that was like not scripted or
We
no shit
just tossed her up. Here she go.
like that. No,
Hi.
what's going on?
Hello, gentlemen. Am I
Hey,
Hey,
live with
Lenora.
you?
huh?
Yes, you are.
No, word.
My service keeps dropping. I don't know what's going on.
But
No,
now
you all
you
good.
coming in loud and clear. You good money.
It's that bug, Christian, you've been talking about. Remember that electronic bug that's been fucking us over
Yeah. I
the
said these
last couple of
digital
days?
gremlins past couple days, man.
No, word. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like I said, just the whole energy of, like I said, that Brooklyn terminal, and just to see everybody kind of, it was like I said, a family reunion almost. Just seeing everybody kind of creatively flowing together, and we all in different sections and stuff like that. So it's like I said, it's like a movie scene. You running from one spot, then people over here doing one thing, then you run to another spot, and people over there doing another thing, and then oh, back to like I said, that part where the security guard and shit like that came out. That was like raw, organic. It was like not scripted or nothing. Like I said, what made it so funny, people don't understand why I laugh. I laughed because it was so cold and nobody was trying to hear shit he was saying. Like, and he came out of nowhere too. That's what made it worse.
Well, I mean, what made it bad is he was wrong. I mean, if you're gonna like enforce the rules where they apply. But we had done our homework. We knew he was in the right area to shoot. But yeah, I'm curious from Lenore because there was a question like, what was your favorite part? So you was like a spectator, a guest, VIP member, watching the showcase, and then afterwards you had an opportunity to be a model at the Brooklyn Army Yard. So tell us, like, what was your favorite moments from both perspectives?
There's not one. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. Every time you get with Marquise and Christian, it's a vibe.
Appreciate it.
Every time.
Appreciate
So it was, I mean, from the moment I walked in, I was like, wow. Like every time Marquise will kind of say his vision, when you actually see it, it's like, damn, yo, what the hell, yo, what's up here? Because
it.
it looked amazing in there. It was great. The energy was great. I'm always grateful to be around you guys, and it was just great energy. And seeing you, Christian, in the cold,
I told him.
you were in the, and there was no, you would if somebody just popped up, huh?
I said he the only one that didn't complain about the cold. Like,
No, he had it on his big old coat. He was ready. Like, well, who's next? Bring him on. Like, let's go. And I think that's helpful too in getting the type of outcome you want when you have everybody on the team who's uh what's the word I'm looking for? Like everybody's mindset is just positive. Everybody's mindset is just go. Not just like not oh my hands are cold or we are we gonna be able to do this? And, it's getting cold or the lights are going down or not. Nobody's bringing up the the what ifs or the things that could happen that could possibly not make the night go right. Like you don't even talk about it. You just keep going. So
Those are
there's
my
no.
old football days. Our coach used to say, yo, complaining about the weather ain't gonna make it no warmer.
That's right. You
Right?
play football?
Yeah,
Cause
well,
I ain't
yeah,
gonna lie,
but
Lenore, when we was sitting in your car, I don't know if you remember. I think that's one of the things I said. I was Christian. Now I can tell the truth. Man, I was sitting in that car for a second to warm up, and I'm like,
Well, you
man, let me get.
but
I'm
you
like, I looked up and I'm like, man, Chris, I can't leave him out there. I'm like, he out there shooting. I'm like, let me
but
get.
see, you were talking about authenticity, Marquise. Like it's real. It's cold. You are going to acknowledge when you're cold, and you're gonna do what's right by yourself to go in the car and warm up. But you always like when you sat down, it was like, okay, hurry up, get warm, because I gotta go back out where everybody else is at.
I
So
did not
that's
want to get out too.
yeah,
I'm
at the
like,
same
it's
time though, like
cold.
I can't complain about the cold when Nate is basically wearing stockings, a cardigan, a t-shirt, and a hat. And yo, she's giving up all of the looks, no complaining.
shirt off in the parking lot by the pier. Like,
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
cold,
I'm looking
but
yeah.
at
it's
Giovanni was
adrenaline
hard
too.
body, yo.
this. How I know it was cold. I had a whole nother outfit that I was supposed to wear to the army terminal. I'm like, I'm not changing for shit. Like, I'm like, sure I do not get in this outfit. It is over with. Like, then I just remember we got back up there, and remember keep telling you about this Christmas. They like, yeah, such and them still over there. They looking to get dressed. I'm like, oh damn, I forgot all of. Now I forgot, but you know what I mean. It was moving so quick. I'm like, damn, I forgot all about them. Like, yo,
Yeah, shake it like Shakira. She had on your jersey and stockings, and that was it. And yeah, she was rocking it out. So yeah, all of the models, I think they showed their resilience and their professionalism. I applaud them because I don't think I could have done it. When I got dressed with my little look, I was like, yeah, let's hurry up, bro. I'm cold. I had on that little duster and shirt and take off my big coat.
no, it's just definitely in it. And I think she kind of really hit it on the nose too. That's another reason why I kind of really, like I said, commend all the models because y'all know how it is. Kind of really working with me. Like sometimes when I do say this shit, I do be like, yo, how the fuck is you about to do that? Like, because sometimes you be over ambitious, but in a way, like I tell you all the time, Christian, I know it's gonna flow together. It's just getting the right people to kind of really get everything to flow together. So, like she said, just seeing all these unique visions and kind of really seeing it come together. Because, like I tell you, when I shot to you the idea for the Bronx shoot and stuff like that, I had no idea we would get that dope of content. Like, I knew, like I said, we would get some dope content and shit like that, but we haven't, same way I'm going to continue to stress it, we have not even scratched the surface. We got so much dope content there. And it was the same way with Ghetto Fabulous. Like, yes, we had that vision and stuff like that, but to kind of really see how everything kind of really came together and now we rolling out the content and stuff like that, it's just dope vibes and just having that privilege of just working with that community of people who kind of really get you and understand you, especially in this, I would say, creative field. A lot of times, one miscommunication or one bad conversation, shit like that, can kind of really ruin a lot of eternal partnerships, business situationships, or whatever you kind of really refer to it as. And just to
Yeah.
have that group of people who you can kind of really, like you say, open and be yourself. And even if it's those moments, Christian, where we've had them, like, it's like, hey, yo, just chill a little bit. You ain't got to be an army sergeant. You know what I mean? So just having, like I said, them people that's gonna hold you accountable through your actions, stuff like that around you, whether good or bad, is just dope to have for sure, for sure.
And the
Mhm.
prep, like I think for both shoots, we had good prep. We had scouted both the locations. For the Brooklyn Army Yard, I had a chance to shoot there with Rose, a full week before. We were shooting after the showcase. You was able to get permission to get some prep time in the studio twice. So we was able to have a couple walkthroughs. We were able to see the environment, kind of map out the space. All of those things really helped to pull it together. If not for that, yeah, it would have been more of a scramble. So the prep is always the real deal for some success.
And I think that's another thing too, that I kind of really want to reflect on to the chat and everybody kind of really watching is notice how we said like multiple names and everybody kind of really involved in this project. I kind of really just think about it just when looking at the pictures and shit like, yo, what if you would have tried to do that by yourself? And I feel like a lot of designers or agencies or models or photographers or whatever it is, when they coming together with their visions, they often think only for like that self interest and stuff like that. And it's like, yo, if I bring these people, I want to make it look like it's me and only me that did it. And a lot of times that kind of really reflect when you kind of really go to these showcases and stuff like that. So just having people, like I said, who you kind of really trust and they treat your vision like it's your own too is like a dope part. And just building that people who you could trust. Because a lot of times, like a lot of people have these dope visions and a lot of dope projects that they can bring to life, but they only want they name on the MVP trophy. So they
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice that win, I would say, to kind of really win that MVP trophy. Where it's like me, hey, how's it going? I see him trying to sneak in. He was at the Bronx shoot. You remember it, Christian?
Yeah, I remember. He was my assistant. He was keeping an eye on everything.
Word, word. Yeah, just
That
like
was
I
his
said,
first time coming out to a set.
oh, word. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Even though
I'm
you had him out there for a few hours, he like, Mom, I'm ready to go.
the whole since before we even got there, like, how long is this gonna be?
Uh,
But I was
but
glad he was able to see what what
yeah,
a photo shoot looks like.
I definitely agree. Definitely agree.
Yeah, I was thinking about that picture of you on the ground, Marquise, at the
Nah,
Bronx shoot. Speak about authenticity.
yeah, no,
That's you doing whatever it takes to get the right shot.
yeah, no, facts. Rose still owe me for that. What's the name?
I see that she's watching. Can she come in?
We created a crash alone. She what's that? She had a showcase. She at Miami.
Oh,
Yeah, she down in Miami.
she at the Miami
Yeah,
with Lagarde.
herself. That I wouldn't know. I just know she down there in the
Oh,
showcase and
Bro,
stuff
stay
like that.
busy,
Shout
man.
I think he was
yeah,
doing something with his hat line, which is great.
yeah. She stay. I don't know. Rose stay busy, so
That's what's up.
we ready to see her
That's what's up.
MIA content. But
That's what's up.
no, though, like I said, just to kind of really come back to what I was saying, just like I said, people kind of really trusting that team and getting that right team of people kind of really around them. Moving towards 2026, like I said, I talk about it all the time. A lot of people have self interest or self like they all for self when it comes to our industry, whether that's a designer, whether that's a photographer, whether that's a model. And I kind of really feel that because it relates back to what we was talking about with the coming from a small city. Like a lot of times we often don't get to see people kind of elevate. So when it's like you see somebody close to elevating, subconsciously you're like, damn, I wish that was me. Like I wish that was my moment and stuff like that. And I feel like with certain people, like they be like the less people I have around that's got a light and stuff like that, that's more like shine on me. Whether it's like with a person like me, I be feeling like, yo, the more lights that I got around here, like it's gonna light up the whole room and that's gonna cause
Yeah,
a better spotlight to the work and stuff that I'm already doing. And I tell people all the time, like, as long as you talented and kind of really committed to your craft, your work is gonna always get showcased.
speak for itself. Yeah,
So what
yeah.
about you, Chris? How y'all feel about that when it come to community building and then when it come to just trusting the team and building a team and having a good team when it come to these productions.
Nobody ever gets there on their own. Um, so, it takes a full support system, from, your family, your close friends, and then the people that you decide to bring into the projects that you work on. And, we've been talking a lot about energy, but yeah, you have to make sure you bring people on that's going to have good energy, people that are going to be committed to the vision.
Yeah.
Uh, and you think sometimes those things are givens and they're basic, but they're not. So, you kind of have to work through with some people and work through that earned trust. And, once they've demonstrated that, all right, yeah, I can deliver on something small and I can deliver something big, yeah, bring them into the project, bring them into the fold, and then trust them. And once you give them something, like I know I've trusted people on this project to do certain things, and no one has disappointed me. In fact, my expectations were always like exceeded. You know, I think even on the little things, like I needed hella help bringing all my gear up into the studio. You know, we had a plan of maybe like one or two people to help me. We had a whole army of people to help me. And I needed every single minute to get everything done. So, like, you know, all of the hands made light. And I didn't have to ask, you know, everybody just kind of realized that something needed to be done. They all pitched in and helped, you know, get like the basic stuff out the way. So yeah, man, team is important. Energy is important. Trusting your team is important. You know, giving people the latitude to do things on their own and trusting that it's going to get done in their way is also important. Because you got to kind of let people work in their own way. And then trust that it's going to be something that's going to be delivered on nicely. What about
Yeah.
you, Lenore?
Yeah, I agree. What's coming to me is just like character and having good character, and because your character will always follow you. Like there will never be any question about who you are, what your intentions are. You know, if there's an agenda, you know, people will always see who you are and how you show up and how you perform, right? Um, I was also gonna say something else. I got a mind block, but and oh, and it's respect. It's respect, right? Like
Right.
buying. Like I'm gonna buy into your vision. I'm going to respect how you um write the vision, right? So it's just yeah, community. You know, you hold each other up. You know, you do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and you know that's the golden rule that
Yeah.
I learned. You know what I'm saying? And then like yeah, it's authenticity too. Those are all common threads, like the you know being yourself. I remember when I had the courage to start you know showing up to these casting calls and like just being a part of the whole fashion industry. um People would always say, you know, be yourself, just be yourself. And I think now I know what that means. It's not, and even if you know, you putting on a facade, if you putting on somebody who you're not, that's what people are going to see, and eventually you'll start see people trickling away. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you can't really, you know, you can inquire about why, but if you know, if you're real with yourself first, you'll always see like, yeah, I got some work to do. You know, so yeah, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying.
All right.
Thanks.
Now, another question I would ask you guys is this: dealing with these productions, often a lot of times people see the dope part about it. I would say, which is the rollout, the content, the pictures, and stuff like that. But a lot of times when it comes to just preparing, like you said, searching for venues and stuff like that, location scouting, building that team, you often I would say met with a lot of challenges and a lot of like I wouldn't say roadblocks, but a lot of things that kind of really test your commitment and stuff like that too. Too. How would you say, Christian? What would you say your form of kind of really handling those challenges and stuff like that when it come to like different things throughout the showcase? I would say as far as the community.
I don't know. If I'm answering your question right, I kind of look at what everybody sees, the end product, like the image or the edited video. That's like the tip of the iceberg, right?
Mm,
That's what they see. But underneath that, underneath the waterline, there's a whole big, gigantic block of work that encompasses, you know, like you said, the screening for the location, looking at the location, what kind of colors were all of the furniture, knowing your designs, looking at your website. All right, these are the colors of his designs. These are the colors of the couches inside the space. What else am I going to bring? You know, I brought like a couple of rugs that I felt would like really bring out the colors to make them pop. Um, it's like all of that minor stuff that you might not think is important, like what kind of color rugs you're going to use. But those are the things that make the image work. Um, my production partner Nels, she came over to the house the weekend before, and we set up some test lighting recipes, and kind of was working with different equipment to see like how long it's going to take to set it up, like a mini run, because all of those things counted towards us executing in real life. So yeah, it's the stuff that people don't see behind the scenes. Um, and I would say that editing part is like just the massive component because I don't know, there was like a good day and a half. My wife barely saw me. I was just
Aw.
heads down in Photoshop, in Lightroom, in Adobe Premiere, editing.
You have
Um,
good turnaround, Christian.
I told him that. I literally just told him that yesterday. Like, your turnaround is
Quick.
crazy for the work that you do. I think that come with that commitment though. Like he just said, he like be on vampire mode. Like his wife come downstairs, get out, and
because I have to look at like my schedule. So
Yeah.
yeah, we had this big production, but then I have other work. I have a contract with DoorDash, so I travel to restaurants and I do photos for their menus.
Oh, nice.
Um, I have a contract with White Plains High School. I do all of their winter sports. Then I have regular clients that are on my calendar. So I waste no time because I'm always going to be owing someone images otherwise. So long time ago when I worked in corporate America, I had a manager, great guy. He was really good. He really helped mentor me. And one of the best things he said to me is like, yo, bro, you're really good at what you do, but you're kind of all over the place sometimes. Just touch it once. If you got the opportunity to finish something and knock it off, just work it all the way through and just get it off your plate. Just touch it that one time. Don't try to touch it multiple times because you never come back to it, and that place is going to fall on the floor and break into 1,000 pieces. And you got a mess to clean up. So I try to treat my photography workflow the same way. Touch it once. As soon as I get the work in, let's get it downloaded. Let's call some images and let's see if I can get 50 to 100 out the next day. And then I can work on my next projects because I shoot 4 to 5 times a week.
Mm.
So if I take a day off from editing, the editing is not going to get done by itself. So yeah, I try to pop them out at least 24 to 48 hours.
Quick. Rapid. Rapido.
Now everyone's saying, well, wait, bro, you owe me pictures. Well, I do work with people like designers that say, well, can you send me the images first before releasing them to the model? So everyone's saying, well, damn, why I ain't get my pictures yet?
I would definitely, man, I'm definitely one of them people. Like, before we roll out, just because I know how it goes. I feel like it's different, like circumstances for different designers and stuff like that. But I know me, like, once they got them pictures, like, I'll check my notifications. I got like 3 collabs. I got like 7 things I'm tagged in. Like, yo. So I'll be just like, yo, let's do the storyline and just do the rollout and stuff like that first. And then everybody kind of free to kind of really, like I said, benefit off of the
Yeah.
production and stuff like that. So I know right now, like I said, they ready for the ghetto fabulous photos and stuff like that. So we getting those ready for y'all, for everybody who kind of really been asking and waiting on those. Just like I said, it's holiday time and stuff like that. We don't want to be, I would say, too aggressive and stuff like that with the rollout and stuff like that. So just know, like I said, y'all got some fire content on the way, and we just getting started. This only the beginning. 2026, we got, like I said, a lot of what you've seen, but I feel like we're gonna be going more in depth. You're gonna be seeing more props, more, I would say, scripts. I always say this, but just new characters, new energy and stuff like that. I feel that's always just a good sight to the eye. New colors. It's always good to see kind of the new colors. And just carrying over like what we've been talking about, just that authentic energy and just continue to build the community. I feel now that we not in that COVID era or that like everybody kind of really figuring out, I feel like we getting back to where communities matter and people knowing what they value and knowing what they want out of their friendships or what they want out of their communities and stuff like that. So just being a part, like I said, of a community that's continuing to grow, dope too as well. So
Yeah, that's something to talk about, man. It's the new pieces. Like there's a lot of excitement from the models with the polo, definitely the jersey, the cardigan seemed to be a big hit. Actually, I had another designer reach out and said like, "Yo, that cardigan is just everything."
appreciate
So
it.
the props to you, bro. Getting another designer to give props on your design. So yeah,
I
pieces were
think
really good.
yeah, no, that I feel like the collection always come down to what I'm kind of really telling people what I'm trying to go through now is I always try to take those little deep breaks where you kind of really just adjust. And Lenore, we was kind of really talking about that the next day after the showcase, where you kind of really get to travel the world and get to go places. And throughout going places, whether I'm at the airport or whether I'm at the fucking park or the diner or wherever I'm at, I'm kind of really paying attention to what people wearing. So I'm seeing what's frequent, what whether I'm watching what you wearing videos and stuff like that. I'm paying attention to what people are wearing. I wouldn't say it's like following the trend. It's just like I said, noticing what the market value wants and what's needed and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
with
what's
this
missing?
collection,
I
yeah,
would say
with
what's
this,
missing. Kind of
yeah,
plugging holes in areas where people really haven't delved. That's what I think is so nice about the designs.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No word, and I think that with this capsule too, I kind of really definitely did want to get to a place where people kind of really, I wouldn't say hit, but they kind of really scared to do because it's I would say with our designs it's a little bit more unique because it's minimum but bold. So a lot of times I say people lean on the art. So a lot of times when I tell people don't really fall in love with the brand, they fall in love with the art that the brand got a value. So once that I get so used to seeing that art so much, it trickles down and it's like, yeah, no. That's a brand or a trend that we was wearing last year, and it's like the Vivon, where people not wearing it no more. Vice versa, I feel like one of the advantages I've got, which helped me kind of really grow, is it's been kind of really community based, and we not following no trends. So when you come, it's like a vibe or like a mood that you kind of really putting on and stuff like that. So each season the clothes kind of really grow with it, and it's not like, okay, I did the black hoodies this year, next year I'm gonna do the yellow hoodies with the different fonts and stuff like that. So we always trying to find different creative and unique pieces for people kind of really to rock. And I always say I don't want you to wear my stuff one time, or I don't do the whole I want a sympathy thing. That's why if people know me and stuff like that, like I'm never over marketing my products or stuff like that because I kind of really want that vibe and I want you to kind of really want to buy it. I want it to be something that you wear multiple times throughout the week, whether you're going to the gym, whether you kicking it with the homegirls, whether you going on a date, whether you going to work and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of designs kind of really take away from that because it's too loud and it's too bold and it's yes, that's creative as hell, but people gonna notice when I try to throw it on 2, 3 days later. So I get that stuff that where it's like, yo, even if you wear it 2, 3 days in a row, you broke it down and nobody's saying, oh, you had the pants on yesterday. They actually, like you saying, complimenting you and asking you where you got it from and stuff like that. So I want to have like that Carhartt, but in a luxury type of way, if that makes sense to you, mood or feeling. I always
Yeah,
say we
man,
still
no
in the
doubt.
vibe.
No doubt. I think, you know, I know I see a lot of creativity in people with um, how they even styled your designs on their own. You know, when I've given them pieces and um, there's this one model from France, Pierre, and he kind of styled it before I even touched it. It was like, well, wait. It's like, well, I kind of like that, bro. Let's just rock it like that.
No word.
So yeah, people have a lot of creativity and individuality in styling your pieces, even when they're standalone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny you bring that up because what's so crazy, I talk about this story all the time, but man, like early on, it was just me switching from streetwear to, I would say, this luxury streetwear, what I'm doing now. I was hyper critical about stuff. So stuff like that, I was like, nah. But recently, like you said, it's just been people just trying stuff. And you're like, you know what? I actually like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I remember, like, I tell people all the time, like, there was like, I wouldn't do nothing with like smoking or like, I was keeping everything kind of really clean cut. It was more so like trying to build the name and stuff like that. And we was at a pop up. It was actually earlier this year, and Wheels and another model was supposed to be shooting, and and I was gonna be in a shoot, like the pictures and stuff with them, but like customers was coming up to buy stuff. So once they bought stuff, you know how it be. The customers want to talk about it. So I'm sitting there talking, and I'm trying to be respectful. I'm like, damn, I got to get to a whole shoot back there. They shooting without me, and every time I walk away, it's like another customer came, which is like a gift and a curse.
Good, yeah,
You know
good
what I
problem
mean?
to have, yeah.
Yeah. By the time I got back there, Squills and them had already shot, and I just remember seeing them like holding a J and shit like that. And I remember I'm looking at him like, "What the fuck is you doing, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we cannot post these. Like, no, like this is not what the brand represent. Like, and then actually, you know what? I like these pictures. Matter of fact, fuck it. And then that's when it kind of really broke into, I would say, that Rebels and Luxury, where it's like that. You know what? I've always been rebellious, and I felt at that point I was doing what I was telling people to do. Now I was bending myself and bending the brand and getting away from my natural vibes and stuff like that to kind of really present the brand in a more professional way. And yes, I feel like it opened up a few doors and stuff like that. But creatively, looking back at some of the designs, I'm like, yo, I was a little bit too bland, or I didn't take enough risk. And it's not that it wasn't there. As you see, it was just, like I said, it was just me being in my own head. And Christian, we talk about that all the time, just like, yo, I need to make it look this right and stuff like that. So just
And
like
that's
you
a
said,
good
trust.
soft risk. I mean, you didn't go all the way to ketamine, right? You know, you stayed in the lane with weed. And it is like a soft rebellion because weed is in that weird place right now where it's legal in like half of America. It's not legal in the other half of America. So it's like, it is like an accepted thing, but it's still a rebellious thing. Lord knows everybody still does it, but it's still in that rebellious, you
It
know,
wasn't necessarily the rebellious part of it. It was, to me, I talk about this all the time. I don't like basic pictures. So to me, when people take pictures smoking weed, it often gives me the middle finger pose. It's like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? There's only so much
The
creativity
trap.
and shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what I didn't want my brand to really look like one of those brands and stuff like that. So when I see people, of course, you know, I smoke and stuff like that, but when I see those pictures, it just gives to me that, like, that urban brand. I wanted it, like, I feel like I was
High
putting a lot of
end.
work in. Yeah. So, but now, like, I feel like creatively, especially with us kind of really, like I said, adapting that Rebels and Luxury tagline, we got a little bit more pull to do a little bit more rebellious stuff that I couldn't once do and stuff like that. So even with that, I would say it's kind of really got me back into the happy point of creating, because then I don't feel I had the joy. I feel like it was just more so like a business. Like I said, if you really look at the product and the content and stuff like that, yes, it was dope content for that time and that moment, but I feel like that was me in a transitional point of my life and stuff like that. And when I look back at it now, it's like, yo, I really wasn't having that much fun creating. Vice versa now, like, I'm already 3-4 collections in mind and having so much fun in the photo shoots and meeting models and networking and going to new places and just having fun, smiling. And even when I'm taking my pictures and stuff like that, I get that joy. And you kind of really seen it when I was kind of really on the runway and stuff like that, that I kind of really once didn't have. And I would also say that kind of really contributed to what we kind of really started the genesis of the conversation about just being around people who kind of really feed into your vision and feed into what you growing and stuff like that. And it's what we talked about, Christian, before Lenora Jordan live, coming from those small cities. When you got that competitive nature where you got, whether it's friends or family members who kind of really watching you create these iconic moments, and it's like, yo, just a pat on the back every now and then. You're doing a good job now and then to kind of really take you a long way, because it's often a lot of what we was just talking about beforehand, dark moments that you don't see with the designer or with the model, where it's like, yo, you got that self-doubt, or you got that, you alone in your own head, and you, man, is this really something that I want to do? Is this something I really should be doing and stuff like that? And sometimes just those little simple compliments to be like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to go shoot right now. You just told me that you like my pictures. I'm about to go shoot a fire shoot right now. And I feel like we didn't got too comfortable with withdrawing love from the ones that we love. And I feel like that's become like a trend and stuff like that. And y'all see it with me often. I'm constantly preaching about that energy thing. Like, if the energy not right for me moving 2026, it's like, yeah, it's a wrap. I got to
turn it
line
on that
myself.
energy though, man, because you know it's the good energy is good, right? That's the energy that you hope that you want to receive, right? But like, even I call it the negative space energy, when people don't say anything, right? Or maybe it's the slight dig, like, someone recently sent me some celebrity uh, posts, which I totally love, right? But at the same time, I was like, damn, bro, you like have not like even looked at my page and I don't know how long. So I try not to take it any kind of way, but at the same time, all of that stuff fuels me towards positive energy
No
because
word.
like, well, maybe I'm not doing like enough to get noticed. So you know what? I'm, I'm kind of going to work on this next concept, this next idea, this next set of lighting recipes, um, to kind of like elevate or work on my craft. So a little bit of love goes a long way. A little bit of hate goes a long way too. It's like the yin and the yang. You kind of need them both to propel you. I like bring it all. Um, and you know, and the other thing is the feedback. Like the models have been really great. And I always like to ask them for their like the real feedback. Well, you know, where could I do better? Right? Because that's where the secret stuff lies. So, you know, everybody always, yeah, that was fire, that was fire. All right, I feel that. But like, what could I have done a little bit differently? Or what do you think I could have improved? Those are the things that take you to the next level. So like it's like I call it those three energy sources: the good, the bad, and you know, the feedback. Because you want to have good feedback, you want to have negative feedback, and all kinds of feed into that yin and yang. Those are the things that propel you to do bigger and better things, improve on your concept, improve on your workflow, improve on, you know, how you relate with other people, and you know, whether it's in a photo shoot or if it's in the production design phase or post production. It all adds to kind of you bettering and getting better at mastering your crafts.
Hmm.
Gotcha. What about you, Miss Lynn?
Yeah, like you can't please everybody. And a lot of times we always are looking for multiple people's approval. And so because only one person says, "Oh, that's nice," we we still stay in a little shell because the likes aren't there or multiple people aren't saying, "Yo, Marquise, you fire. Christian, your pictures is hot." But really the only approval we need is our own,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's
Because
it.
Marquise, you're the one who wakes up at night. I can just imagine that you wake up in the middle of the night thinking of these grand ideas, right? Christian, the same thing. I have those moments too where I'm like, yo, and then I start writing stuff, right? Um, and I'm talking to myself too because I have many of those dark hours, those dark moments where you guys don't see the bubbly Leonora and the, like I have those moments where I have to really like isolate and just be like, all right, God, it's me and God, and but yeah, the only person you can uh, prove anything to is yourself. And feedback is definitely important because I was talking to I think one of my students, and I was talking about, what was I talking about? Um, what did I say just now? I feel like I keep getting a
Feedback.
mind block. Feedback. Oh yes. So I was
Mhm.
like, if you're in a friendship, a romantic relationship, any type of relationship where you guys do not argue, something's wrong.
Facts.
Because if I can't tell you, Marquise, the way you spoke to me, I feel some type of way. But I still love you. But I'm not. We can have. People need to learn to have healthy conversations on difficult topics.
No word. Word.
You
Yeah.
know,
Tough conversations.
tough
Yep.
conversations because I need to know where I'm messing up at so that I can grow.
I feel like we avoid that though. In this era, it's more so like the well, you know what, Lenora offended me, so fuck it, I don't want to be her friend no more. So I'm gonna use that one thing as a reason. Or even if I don't fall out with her, then I'm always use that as a reason to kind of really be petty. Whereas vice versa, like I'm like, yo, let's talk about this right now. Let's have that conversation about it right now. And even if it's not like right now, like that conversation need to be had. And like I always tell people, I would rather you say that stuff than you kind of really hold it in. Because I'm always going to tell people, look, this is how I'm feeling. So you know, because if not, it's that awkward moment being around you. Like, yo, I might wait feeling some type of way that you did X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? I can't have you in my space, and like, so let's have this conversation right now, and let's, you feel me, like, so even if you got to
Yeah.
pull it to the side, like, And that's where, like she said, like if you having somebody who around you like Christian, if you was like, yo, yeah, Marquise, everything you doing is the right way, it would raise my eye about it. But there's times where it's like, yo, I don't know, bro. You like we might be tripping.
And at the end of the day, right? If I say like, yo, I ain't like that hat you use. I think you could have used a better hat. It's your choice whether you know agree to that, or you know you feel the same way, or you be like, you know what, I hear you, but I think I like this right here, and the show keeps going on
I always
because
say feedback is a gift, right? Because at the end of the day, the person don't have to tell you jack bone anything, right?
No
They could
word.
just let you keep operating like how you are. But
yeah.
if they take the time to offer you some feedback, you have to be receptive to receive it. Right
Hmm.
now, it's up to you if you want to act on it or not, but you got to receive the feedback and kind of give the person the respect to be like, all right, well, thanks for letting me know that. At the end of the day, you be like, that motherfucker really said that? But but you got to receive the feedback, take it, and hopefully digest it so that you can either better yourself or alter things, pivot things to kind of. I usually find in most cases is to make someone more comfortable. Usually,
Hmm.
when people come to you with something, maybe they didn't feel comfortable. Maybe you made them feel uncomfortable in a way they're not accustomed to, so they need to
Yeah.
talk to you about something. Yeah, I got to kind of like own that and like, all right, well, I kind of respect this person's wishes. Um, I try to keep like the high emotional
Intelligence.
EQ, yeah, but sometimes we all kind of have little slips, and I may think something is customary to other person, like, yo, what is the dude doing? Like,
Yeah.
you got to kind of be open to hearing that feedback.
Hmm.
And not be so soft or few of that's hating. Because Lenore, you brought a good point up. It's crazy you say that. I done had so many moments like that where it's not so many, but you get what I'm saying. Where I done had moments like that. Like I never forgot I was selling like a hoodie or something, and she was like, "Yeah, it is." She literally looked at it. She's like, "It is dope, but you think you're gonna do some other colors?" And I remember looking at her like what do you mean? Like, but she was right. And it was so crazy. Remember how we was just talking about at the brand during this time I was on this professional, straight, strict shit. So I just wanted everything to be like the same brand colors, either black, this yellow, or this what's name. And I'm like, when she said it at first, I'm like, you trying to be funny or something? But no, you definitely do got a good point. Why am I only using these colors? And I started getting more colors and stuff like that.
And you're growing too. You're growing while you're growing as a designer. You're carrying Marquise with you. You know what I'm saying? Like we, somebody was saying the other day that everybody has different versions of ourselves. You know, so you know who was that version of you when you only were sticking to those safe colors for you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Versus who the version of you is now. You know.
Yeah. And it also be kind of released. You talked about it, just be you being in your head, because that kind of, like I said, triculate to something that kind of, I would say, important to happen earlier on. It was like around that 2018, 2019 period. And I was going to visit in Chicago, my partner Dale, and we was having brunch, and it's me, it's my girl, his girl, and stuff like that. Like we just sitting up chopping, and I'm just telling him about all these designs. This was like right when I'm crossing over doing the rebrand and stuff like that. So I'm telling him all these designs and stuff like that, and they on my phone at the time. He literally looked at me with a dead face at the table. He's like, "Bro, why are you showing me this? Put that shit out. Stop playing." And I remember I'm like, "What the fuck am I playing for?" Because at that point, I had already did the rebrand. I was already committed to it and stuff like that. And it was like you said, having that person there, like, "Yo, sometimes you need to hear that," or sometimes you need to hear somebody like, "Yo, bro, that look dumb as fuck. Like, don't make that. Like, that look corny as hell." And it saved you a lot of money. You know what I mean? It can save you a lot of money. It's easier getting that than hearing that, I would say, than you getting out there trying to sell a hat and people like, yo, throw that hat in the trash can. Now your feelings really hurt. You feel me? So just
Right.
listen to the people. You feel me? Knowing how to balance when it's a negative comment Christian, like you said, and when it's you feel me, somebody just offering their opinion. Because all
Mhm.
opinions matter. Like,
Take what's good and leave the rest.
no word.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, word.
And at the same time, though, if you're strongly convicted on something, like you said,
Go
that
with
hat.
it.
But if you know, like, yo, the world is ready for this hat. The world is ready for this hat. He may not understand it, but the world is ready. You just got to go with it. Like
Hmm.
sometimes Sometimes you have to kind of go against the grain with the feedback if it's something you really strongly feel about.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
But
designing get a little bit. I say designing get a little bit like art. I feel like you could be a little bit tricky, but designing be like, yeah, that motherfucking creative had to be sitting in that damn house.
80% on sale.
Oh, word, facts. But yeah, it's just like I said, just getting a group of people who like you have those uncomfortable conversations. We kind of, like I said, around that, grew up around that same time period where it was like you went outside and you had these conversations every day. If you was wearing something bummy, they was gonna roast you from the time you went to school to the time you went home and took that bullshit off. But now I feel like we in this era now where people can't take a joke or they can't take an opinion or you can't be open and honest with people because it feels like I said like you hate and stuff like that. For me, like I said, I feel like it opens up the growth and it lets you know what you got to work on. Because sometimes we do kind of really carry on a lot of toxic traits and stuff, and that we kind of really need to break. And oftentimes, and this is why I don't like the internet, is because you could block, you could do this, and you could create all these people in your world, and you get a whole bunch of people just agreeing to your bullshit. Well, okay, Christian don't agree with me, blocked. Now I'm about to talk shit about him on my story. Lenora don't agree with me, blocked. Now I'm about to talk shit about her on my story. And now everybody here in my community is agreeing with me. So I must be right, right?
Mhm.
Because they agreeing with me. But no, you often building, like I said, those toxic communities. We got so many of those kind of really going around, and I feel like I said that it got to stop for sure. For sure, we got to get back to, like I said, trusting people, talking to, having those open conversations and stuff like that, and realizing our opinion is not the only one that matters.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
myself, I struggle with that sometimes, especially being a brand owner and stuff like that. I'm there and they're like, "Yo, we should shoot this shot like this." No, then like you said, it's like, matter of fact, yeah, you know what? It's definitely trying things new and stuff like that.
So
'Cause
I got a question for you, Marquise. I've been dying to ask this question. And if it's a
yeah,
tough question and you want to pass on, it's cool. So you're
no,
a
but
designer. You got a
yeah,
ton of your stuff in your closet.
yeah.
Do you ever want to rock anybody else's gear?
I mean, shit, I wear Midwest Kids. That's my partner, DV stuff. DCTG, I wear they stuff. That's the big homie. I got some Carl Kanai in my closet, but for the most part, no. Like I don't even own. I threw every. We talk about this. Like anybody ever wondered? That's why I don't wear like Jordans or loud shit like that because I don't ever want to distract nothing away from the brand that I'm trying to build in. And at the same time, I will support local brands and stuff like that. Like Dr. Garments, I went to his pop up earlier this year. I bought a hat and stuff like that. If it's somebody who I genuinely mess with, yeah, but it's probably gonna be rare you see me kind of really wearing somebody else's stuff just because, like, you know what I mean?
I feel
I
you
take
because a couple months ago I got some Moonchild photography studio shirts. And my wife was like, "Yo, you gonna wear this shit every day? Like you've been wearing a
got
different shirt all week."
got to. And what's
So,
so crazy about me is I do a lot of like how people be excited about like the cargos and the polos, man. I probably won't be wearing that shit till February or March. I'll be in the same shit. Like I make certain shit and I'm like, yo, I'm wearing this for the rest of my life. Like my first
Right.
utility suit, I promise you, I probably wore that for like 2 years straight. Like, and now I would say this recent one will probably be like that, the baggier track pants that you see me wear, and maybe like a hoodie or something. So I call it like the main character energy, where like you know how you watch TV show and SpongeBob wearing the same shit every day. So of course, like with me being a designer, I will say that with this disclaimer, I don't have to wear the same exact pants. It may be three different versions of that pants. Like one of them might be a little XL, one of them may be an L. You know what I mean? But just doing that. But yeah, I get creative sometimes and I'll rock certain people, but it's very unique. So if you see me rocking somebody's shit, like, and it's not shoes, you know I really genuinely fuck with them, like, for sure, for sure. But if you ever see me rocking any Nike, any Gucci, any Louis Vuitton, you know I've sold my soul to the devil because I'm not rocking it like ever. Like, so if you see me wearing anything, if you see me
You
doing
saw the
anything like that,
contract.
yeah, I signed the contract and I'm far gone. Like, you see that, you already know. Like, even growing up and stuff like that, like, don't get me wrong, like, we got busy when it came to getting dressed, but one trend that I never really got down with was the designer fashion because I just didn't see. I don't know. That shit wasn't cool ever to me. Like I was more so like how Dipset and Nas and them niggas dressed like so. That really didn't excite me. Like all the like Gucci belts and the Fendi and stuff like that. I feel like it fit the people who would fit, but like that style of dressing kind of really didn't excite me. I'm more so building when we talk about the queens and stuff like that, and the smaller designers and the up and coming designers and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
definitely, but you see me in anything like that, nah, I ain't jocking it. If I could make my own shoes, I would, but like I said, now I just kind of try to keep it plain. I call them, I wear my little dad shoes and my shoes that's not too loud. But
Your dad shoes.
yeah,
Do you ever think of partnering with other brand names?
yeah, yeah.
Like how
I got
Rihanna's with Puma.
yeah. Puma is what's crazy is
I could
Puma.
see you doing Puma though. I could see you working with Puma.
Oh, word. That's the only shoe I really fuck with for real. For a lot of my shoes be Puma for real. For that's the I fuck with them because I feel like it give me that old school '80s, '90s dope
Yeah.
boy style. And I started wearing Pumas because me and my partner Drew, like every time when we was hustling and shit like that growing up, when you seen a new pair of Pumas, you know somebody getting a little bit of money and stuff like that. So we kind of really carried that tradition. And then watching Nipsey on the come up. He had signed the brand deal with Puma, but he used to wear the suedes, and I had bought a pair of those one time, and I'm like, nah, I'm never buying these again. But I had started, they had started making bulkier ones once June Ambrose had, became the creative director. So that's when I really started locking in with them. And I was messing with Yeezy. I was wearing the Yeezys for a little bit, but Christian, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Like Kanye be tripping, man.
And lost his
Like,
damn mind, bro.
Kanye be tripping, yo. It'd be like I literally just had to throw a pair of my the last pair of them that I just had because I feel like I was going against the grain with that. Like, but yeah, like certain I'm a person of value. Like, you feel me? So
I like, it's funny you bring up Puma because Puma's one of my favorite brands. A big time sneakerhead. Although I don't own any Jordans, I don't own any Yeezys. I have over 300 pairs of sneakers, but I have quite a few pairs of Pumas. And why Pumas resonate with me is because it's the first sneaker brand that really endorsed an athlete. And that
yeah,
athlete was a New York Knicks great, Walt Clyde Frazier. Clyde's were the first sneakers that was endorsed by an athlete.
yeah,
And, it's one of our, New York City greats. And they look good with whatever you wear. And they come in so many different flavors that you can coordinate them with whatever you got in your wardrobe. So,
and
yeah,
now
I'm a
we
big fan of Puma.
raping people on the contract. See, that's what I say. That's what kind of really messed me up a lot with me wearing other brands is seeing a business aspect about it and kind of really not trying to say I didn't been behind every closed doors and shit like that. But you get what I'm saying. Like having friends and stuff like that inside the industry, you learn certain practices and certain shit that brands do. Like, and I had a couple people who had deals with Adidas and stuff like that, and just them telling me like they bad experiences working with Adidas and
Mm.
people telling me like how Nike raped them out of contracts and stuff like that. So I be really standing on shit like that. And one thing I noticed, like everybody who signed a Puma, like they give them like creative freedom. If you look at what Rihanna then did since she didn't got the Puma, you look at ASAP Rocky, like the creative freedom that they didn't gave him, that they opened up doors to him getting them Ray-Ban contracts and him getting those like Chanel deals and stuff like that. Like so. I feel Puma has always been good to our community, like when it came to not just promoting our community, but giving back. Puma always doing something like in a city, whether it's Jersey, whether it's a city, where they giving back to as well. So that's why I mess with them.
What do you think about Reebok? I like the collab with Cardi.
Yeah, I mess with Reebok. They got a few what's the names that I mess with.
I could see Reebok fitting into your style too.
The
Yeah, I have quite a few Reeboks.
Iverses, the ASAP Nashes, I fuck with those. The Reebok Classics. Yeah,
So you know about the ASAP Reebok collection. I didn't know some people up on that. Yeah,
it's so hard to get those though.
yeah, that's
Those were one of my girls, and
it.
I take it back. I would wear a pair of Ralph Simmons. I always have a hard chance pronouncing those shoes. But the Ralph Simmons O edges, I get a pair of those for sure. For sure, I got a few grails that I will say I definitely rock. But it's certain ones, like I said, you see me rocking one, so well, you know they done got me. Like
You sold your soul.
Yeah,
Crocs,
Reeboks are not just
I do
59,
want Crocs. I want
5411.
Croc deals. Like
Oh
I do want
shoot.
Crocs. Like
Okay.
that'd be dope to do like a dope pair of Crocs, like a creative pair of Crocs. Of course, like I said, Puma. Uh, I want to kind of really do like a Timberland or like a hiking boot, like some type of Tim. Like, but if my Tim wouldn't be like nothing too a shot, it'd be just like some like minimal and shit. Like the tip of the lace
It's not
would be black or
it's
something.
not going to
Like you
be the
feel
LV Timberland with
me?
the
Yeah,
Yeah.
24 karat gold plating.
nah. You can't mess certain shit. I don't feel like you should mess up a classic. Like you feel me? It's a classic. Like so, like I said, I probably lace would be black or the shoe box would be a little bit different or something like that.
Hmm.
I do something with Timberland for sure, for sure. And the
What
Brooklyn Nets. I want to design a Brooklyn Nets jersey. Like I feel like they owe me. Like I've been with them, been a fan since day one. Like I feel like they kind of really owe now. Like, a lot of people wonder where my Nets fandom and shit like that come from. It got nothing to do with Brooklyn. It got nothing to do with New York City. If you actually be in New York or be in Brooklyn, nobody's a fucking Brooklyn Nets fan outside of me. Everybody is Knicks fans. Like so that's rule number one. But that fandom kind of really came with my first photo shoot. I had needed a hat, and beforehand, the only teams that had wore black was like the Bulls, and I wasn't a Bulls fan, the Miami Heat and shit like that, and the
Oof,
Spurs. So when the Nets
oof.
came out with a team, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be my team.
first?
Like, you feel me? Yeah, they had all black, and I like to wear all black, so I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be my team. And I had wore a hat, a Nets hat, to like my first three photo shoots for my brand when the team that first came out, and I had just noticed it, like, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be my favorite team. So that's how it kind of really came on. So it's been kind of really a dream to kind of really design one of their jerseys and shit like that. Like,
Okay.
What about Uggs?
I do Uggs too.
Yeah, I
I
can see you with
do Uggs.
Uggs.
Yeah, I do Uggs. Now I
Eastlands?
personally wouldn't wear a pair. I wouldn't wear a pair of Uggs and shit like that, but I definitely do a partnership. When they had them little male ones, they had some male Uggs that came out like 2018.
Hmm.
Uh, I was dating a girl and she had got them for me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be able to wear them. I remember putting them motherfuckers on. And I'm like, no, not at all. Hey, not at all. I'm not. You know when you put something on and you're like, I'm not leaving the house.
Yeah, I'm
I
saying
leave in
that.
the
What's
house.
so crazy is it look dope on certain people and shit like that. So I definitely, yeah, some of those type of partnerships I definitely would be kind of really open for. Definitely, like I said, that next one I feel like that one in the works. I, like I said
What What about Urban Outfitters?
that's more so like a retail space with them. I don't know. It would
You
kind of
could do
really
a season, like a Marquise Black season. Like in Forever 21, I
yeah.
feel like every February they have like this special line or collection for Black History Month.
I got a shirt. It's so crazy. One of my shirts that I got from that, and it's one of my favorite shirts to this day. What is his name? Henry Jones. He from Cali. He made this dope shirt. Like it's like a painting and shit like that. But I fuck with it. He had did it for like that. He had got picked for that Black History Month shit.
I have a couple too. Was
Yeah,
it
I
like
like.
a all black with the with like a? It looked like the silhouette of a boy kind of screaming out, and it was just like, I
Yeah,
have
yep.
that one.
I got both of them. I got the long sleeve and I got the short sleeve.
Short sleeve, yeah,
Yeah, I
that was
fuck
a
with
good
that. He
line.
got the dope quote and shit like that. So yeah, I would do something like that, like a limited drop. But I've noticed like when certain brands go corporate, it kind of really, you know what I mean. So that's where I always tell people I don't try to oversell it because like when you get too many people wearing your stuff, then it becomes like nah, we don't want it no more. Part of being in fashion, I noticed, is that exclusivity. Is getting those pieces. I got this and you don't got it, or
Hmm.
being places and you got that shirt on and yeah, you may have one or two people, but it's not everybody kind of really wearing it. I feel like with Michael Jordan, where he kind of really messed his brand up at is what we start the genesis of this conversation off is just listening to people. I remember like he had the game on lock to where you had to have the Jordans and stuff like that. But I felt he started listening to the people. Oh, you keep making them in the same colors and make them in different colors, and then next thing you know, he got the fucking cinnamon toast crunch 11s and holiday season 12s and all these different colors, and now it don't got the same value it once held. So definitely, like I feel like it's that balance of getting yourself out there, but still have it being that exclusivity and stuff like that. most of the stuff we value is the stuff that other people can't have.
Everybody wants what they can't have.
Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to photography, Christian, what would you say? I know we kind of really spoke on it a little bit, but what would you say your dream shoot or that dream opportunity for you?
Oh, well, my dream is to shoot Fashion Week in Milan, for sure.
For
Um,
sure.
and you know, and just to be in Milan. So I'm a big Off-White fan. Um, Milan is the home of Off-White, uh, and of course all of the big brands. So unlike you, Marquise, I'm a total name brand hoe. I've been a name
No,
brand hoe for a long time, and
word.
and part of it is like what you said about the exclusivity because usually, you know, those luxury brands, they only make a few pieces. And if you're lucky to get one in your size and be able to afford it, then yeah, you got one of those pieces and it's one of those rare pieces no one has. But to your point you made earlier, you can't rock it twice in a month even. You might
No,
be able to rock it twice a year, right? You pull it out. So I have tons of pieces like that. And I just got like great respect for like those designers and how they was able to put together some really, really unique, dope pieces that last. Like
like,
I have pieces in my collection from the '90s still. I've stayed the same size. So I'm actually going to drop some of these next week, talking about the scouting for the Brooklyn Navy Yard. But I took a couple selfies. I was wearing a pair of Jabos that day. Uh, and the only reason I did it was because a couple people they was like, "Yo, so what you pose?" I was like, "Yeah." They was like,
see,
"Yo,
that's what I
it's
said.
nice."
That's what fashion matter, man. That's what
So you know, for
fashion.
me, it was like something I broke out. I hadn't worn in a while, and I was just like, "Oh, I wanted to wear some chocolate jeans," and I had these chocolate jabots. I said, "All right, it's perfect time to wear these." But to a lot of other people, I sent them back on a memory trip down memory lane, and it's like, wow, I remember those times, and I used to rock those. And they was even asking me like, "Did you get them recently?" And I told them, I said, "Nah, man, these are like from '97."
That's why I say those classic grills. You always gonna need and have to have those classic grills and shit like that for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Now, before I ask you a question, I will say this. My disclaimer is I'm not against like all those designers. You got to think. I started my brand in the 11th grade, so I didn't kind of really been wearing my own clothes half my damn life and shit like that. So it's more. I think it's more so like that. It's not
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
how you was
I'm against it.
raised.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you know my father he was like me, well I'm like him rather, so he used to take me shopping and it was always an adventure to go shopping with my pops because he didn't shop like on Third Avenue where I would shop. You know, I used to run down to Vim, my little bit of money, and you know, buy some Lees or whatever. But he was taking me downtown to Chelsea. We was in Barney's, and he's buying
Mm.
suits, he's
Chelsea.
buying dress shirts, he's buying shoes. He worked, you know, corporate America. And you know, I always wanted something. He was like, all right, go find what you want. He's like, why you have to pick the brightest, like most loudest thing in the store? But that was my style back then. I always like wanted to stand out with what I wore. And if it was designer, it was even better. But like, you know, kind of taught me about quality and you know, how to look at what materials the clothes are made out of. Hey, check before you buy it if you need to dry clean this piece or if you could wash it. It's like little things that most people, I think
Overlook.
some people don't even really know when they shop for fashion items. I was taught at an early age. Um, and then even like my early retail career, you know, I had a 10-year, actually a 15-year retail career where I was a group manager in Bloomingdale's, was general manager for women's haberdashery, Labels for Less. Was also a district manager in hard goods for old electronics store, Nobody Beats the Wiz. Kind of like made my rounds and it taught me a lot about merchandising. It taught me a lot about clothes. It taught me about buying and working with buying departments and like what the real value of clothing are. That's why I never pay for retail for anything because I know how much these pieces really cost to make and how much the department stores pay for them and what their markup is because general like retail markup is 600 to 700% when you buy it out of the department store.
I be on the fence about that because I hear that comment a lot, but now me being on the other side, because I know when people try to hit me with that shit, or if they would try to hit me with that, yes,
The
that's just
department
like
store is different though because
me.
there's volume. So
Yeah,
like remember, like Bloomingdale's has like hundreds of stores. So when
no
they
word.
buy like when they buy pieces, they're buying thousands or tens of thousands of a t-shirt. So yeah, they might get that t-shirt maybe at like $9, but they'll retail it for 90.
Yeah, see, that's why I said the department store is different. Now, the actual store, like if you go into the actual store, I get why certain shit is dried up. Because just like how you said, one of the things when I transitioned and shit like that, when it came to doing the luxury streetwear, that I like kind of really focused on was just that quality. And a lot of people don't know I had to do like a lot of quality tests, like that's how I you see sometimes like wasted certain shit just be was put just to be a tester. I gotta make sure it can get washed. How is it after it get washed? I gotta tug and make sure it was make sure it lasts. When it wash, is it shrinking? All this stuff matters and stuff like that. Like when
Yeah.
I'm buying things. So when it come to me selecting these pieces, I need to know whether they wash it 50 times. I still want it to be a size that they could fit. Same with the jeans. I want it to still look almost new when they wash it and stuff like that. I want it to look faded or when it looks shrink. So that quality and stuff like that matters. With you kind of really, like I said, being a fan of luxury and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure when you in these stores, you picking the pieces up and you feeling them and you looking at the material and you looking at man. So I'm a nerd about that when I'm at the when I got my pieces. I'm like, yo, let me check this shit 2-3 times because I do not need somebody picking up and asking why I feel like this or why is this like this and stuff like that. So that's another reason too why I don't mass produce pieces. Like I slowly integrate new pieces, if that makes sense. So you might get a little bit of the last collection mixed with the new collection, if that makes sense to you. Because I feel that gives me time to test the product. That gives it time to be, you know what I mean? Sometimes a lot of people are like, well, I want to do these shirts, so I'm gonna go, damn, I can get 500 shirts for $25, bet. But then you get 500 shirts for
Oh, that's
$25.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then instead of saying NWO by March, it say NO. Like, you know what I mean? So to me, that stuff be matter. And I want the pieces, like I said, to last as long as they can. I love, to me, it'd be dope when I be talking to people and they're like, yo, I got your hoodie on right now. Like, damn, I forgot I even made that. Christian, I told you, that's what gave me the idea to the bucket hat. Somebody had posted that bucket hat and it had dawned on me that I had forgot that I had made that or even went down the bucket hat line of making stuff like that. So just like I said, that quality test and just making sure like the customer got that experience because that matter. When we go to these experiences, Lenore, you kind of really touched on it when you got inside the chat, how you said it was an experience when you kind of really walked in. That's one of the things I kind of really like to do because when you go to the Saks Fifth or when you go to the inside those stores, yo, you walk in and you like, God damn, I want to buy something just from walking in here. Like I walked in Telfair and I'm like, damn, I have to buy something. Like there's no way you cannot buy nothing walking inside that store. And it's the same way when you go in like the Saks or when you go in the Gucci's and they handing you these wines or certain items that you get and going inside these stores and stuff like that. And I kind of really stole, I would say, that part of the business from them, just giving them an experience because that matter when you go in the store. Like when you pick up that product for the first time, they need to know when they put that shirt on, they cannot leave without having it and stuff like that.
Yo,
And
let me
I
tell
feel
you, that does mean something.
like,
Because a couple years ago, my wife and I, we were on vacation in Italy. And we went to like the original Ferragamo store, like the first Ferragamo store ever made, right? And actually, they have a museum right next to it, but the museum was closed that day. We were supposed to go to the museum. Museum was closed, so it became an expensive day for me. I'll get to that in a minute. So we decided to go in the store, and as soon as we go in the store, man, they greet us like we was Jay-Z or Beyonce, right? They just like, hey, how you? Please come in. Immediately give my wife a glass of wine, right? Sit her down, and they're measuring her feet. She hasn't even looked at a shoe yet, but they're measuring her feet. They asked her if she wanted something else. They come with some cheese and fruit. Next thing you know, she starts trying on shoes. Now, I ain't gonna front. These shoes were beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, babe, it's dope. But of course, there's really no prices on them. But I was just like, babe, if you want it, I got you.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, you know that line from Kanye's song, damn, those loafers hurt my pocket. It's like-
But they
but
treat you so good, you like, man, nah, I can't. Like,
but it didn't feel like I was spending a lot of money, only because the experience my wife had, um, you know, everything kind of culminated into like, well, this is like an experience that we always going to remember.
Hmm.
And it did. And now it took my wife almost a year for her to wear those shoes. And she wore it. And I still didn't see it because she went on a conference somewhere else and she decided to wear them. So I still haven't seen her in these shoes. So
no,
we need to have another like extravaganza because she gonna walk this next time. And she gonna wear them damn shoes.
no,
See them shoes on it.
word. Now
But
that's
yeah,
how
but
it be
you're absolutely right. The experience and what happens in a store, it all translates into you feeling really, like you said, feeling really good about your purchase. I didn't
though.
feel like this was an extravagant purchase. I felt like this was a purchase that made me happy, made my wife happy. Um, and for the service that I got in there, even though I wasn't buying the shoes, they still treated me like a king. It was all worthwhile.
Yeah, and it being in an organic way too. Like sometimes you don't gotta walk up. Hey, you need help. Hey, you need what's the name? Hey, you know what I mean? Like let them kind of really get a feel and get a void for what they looking for and stuff like that. Because sometimes people do want to come look. Like I done been at pop ups where people that came and look at my rack like 2, 3 times, and I'm like, yo, god damn, how many times you gonna come over here? By that fourth time, they didn't got convinced and they didn't ask the question, yo, such about this, and then they didn't bought it after that fourth time. So it's often, like I said, just giving them that comfortability and delivering on the product. I feel like we lost touch of that way, and that's why I've said like I want to put an end to the fast fashion because you don't really have time to develop a good product pushing out stuff so fast. That's why I don't be liking when I see people have like a collection. Let's say they drop a collection this month, then next month they dropping them in a different colorway and stuff like that. Like you feel me? Like, I feel like you know what I mean. Over not only do it oversaturate the market, I know for a fact you kind of really cheat the game when it comes to quality. Then this where like I say it gets harder for us as a designer because now I'm charging the prices because I'm basing my quality based off the quality, the product and stuff like that, but you got other people who doing it just because they're trying to turn profit. So now it's
And
harder for me, you know what I mean, to sell the same product and stuff. Not it's harder, but you get what I'm saying. It makes it a little bit more challenging in certain situations to sell things. And like, yo, why do you want this much? Well, I want this much because I can pay for it. That you can wash it this many times and it still be there and stuff like that. This is not. I'm not
it's the
selling
same way with photography, man. It's certain photographers may charge like a low rate, and they ask me, well, what are my rates? And I tell them my rate, which I don't think is like exorbitant, but I think it's a fair market rate. They're like, well, damn, bro. And like, well, this is you're paying for quality, right? Uh, so yeah, I always think it's good to establish and keep your price and let people see what the value is.
Now that leads me both to y'all a good question for both of y'all. When it comes to knowing your value and stuff like that, how do y'all respond to, I would say, those situations where it's like, damn, because I'm pretty sure Christian, you like, damn, I really want to do this shoot. Do I tell him no? I gotta stand on the price that I say because if I go down a price with him, I have to go down a price with everybody. So how do you balance still creating revenue, but at the same time staying true to your value? Because sometimes, like I said, you miss opportunities being so serious about your not so serious, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Take
Well,
value.
well, this is my fourth business, and what I've come to learn is that if you want to have a successful business, number one, if you can't give your product away for free, how else are you ever gonna sell it, right? So, I mean, if you, and I see people all of the time, like especially in New York, like people have flyers like free dental cleaning or free massage, or people just walking straight past. Like, I don't want none of this shit for free. Like, um, it's like just because you're giving something away doesn't mean people will take it.
No,
So
word.
I always like to give people like a free trial if it's going to be like a good like relationship. So it could be like a total zip on price. Like, look, I'm gonna show you here's what I can do. If I think it's going to be a good long term relationship that can give me like consistent revenue month over month, If I feel it's like a one-shot deal, well, that might be something I might want to just hold true to my price for, right? Because there are difficult clients to work with, you know. Uh, I say like, you know, for like events and things like that, those are like kind of like one-shot deals. I pretty much like to hold my price because it's going to be a lot of work for me, and I want to give them a good product. And I know if I'm not charging my right rate, I'm going to feel real resentful working hard to give them that good product and not getting my fair value. So yeah, so like for events, one-time shots, I always kind of hold my price. If it's something where I feel there's going to be a long-term value with me and this person, where we can kind of establish something that's going to last long-term, well, yeah, I'll offer a discount because you know it's going to be something where I'm going to have consistent revenue. So, kind of answer your question a little bit.
No. What about you, Mr. Noir?
I'm learning. I'm just starting. I'm a baby in this, right? Like, so I actually would want to know more from both of you actually. But I just started well, I won't say I just started, but I want to start a coaching firm, life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one more class before I get certified.
Nice,
And
congrats.
thanks. I'm actually, say that again.
I say congratulations.
Oh, thank you. So, I at work, because I'm a guidance counselor. That's what I do, 9 to 5. So I've been able to log sessions just by the students who come into my office. So that's really helping me, and I'm, putting the practice in. Um, but I don't know, like what my and coaches charge a lot, like for a package, right? Like a 5 session package, 10 session package. Those are like thousands of dollars,
No work.
right? So me coming out, I'm just like, well, Lord, what am I supposed to do? So I guess my question, can I ask a question?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. That's what it's
Y'all,
for.
y'all are the celebrities.
Stop.
um, when you are thinking of a product to put out and how much to like to make up the cost, like are you doing research on
Hell yeah.
what a typical, photo shoot like this would cost and a typical, jacket like this would cost? And then when you are doing your research, what else are you thinking of to come up with the price that you do believe matches your value?
Yes, that's a great question. All right, so I'll go first. I did a lot of research just to kind of look at what is the median range for my market, right? What are photographers charging? So I wanted to look at the high and the low end of the range, and I wanted to be somewhere middle tier to the higher part of the range. Um, Number one, because um, the time that I've been doing photography, how much experience I have, the kind of equipment that I have, the kind of artistic value that I can bring to the project, and all the other intangibles that I can bring to add value. So that's why mine is like middle tier to high. But at the end of the day, what you decide to charge is really up to you. What do you feel your value is worth? Because you can decide that it's more than that. Um, so you kind of look at some things to see like where do you fit in. So to give an example, maybe my price would have been low tier to middle if maybe I had less experience, right? I didn't have like enough shoots under my belt, or maybe I don't have enough equipment um, to take like good quality shots. I might want to charge a little bit less. But from where I'm at in my life right now, I'm like that mid tier to higher range. Now, if I can get access to like more high value locations, like a mansion or a boat or something like that, well, now I'm going to charge top tier,
Hmm.
right? Because now you'll get something more exclusive in your images than a typical photo shoot. That can offer me to charge top tier money. But at the end of the day, your clients have to see the value in what you're offering before they're going to pay your price. Because just because you set the price doesn't mean people are going to pay it. So you kind of have to be realistic with yourself and say, This is where I think I fall within the market. I think this is where I fall within my competitors. Kind of research who are your other competitors in the same space and what are they charging? What kind of services are they offering? How do your services and offerings compare to your competitors? And then make your price and stick to it.
No, word. I
Yeah.
definitely agree. For me, I feel like as always, it's probably like a unique strategy I got. With me, kind of like I said, basing myself kind of really off of the quality. I'm basing my prices off not only the quality but the value, which is why I say I don't mass produce things. So I'm never really making something that's not gonna sell. I know that's hard to say, but I study my brand and I study like what the customers and stuff like that buy. So I'm not making those things that I would have to like put marked down or put at like a cheaper price. And at the same time, when I do put set certain things at a prices, it's self-explanatory. It's not too much or too little. So I wouldn't say it's at medium or high. I feel like it's worth that the value that it's worth. But to answer your question, as far as when it comes to like determining your value, what you kind of really just starting, you kind of really want to figure out early what's your value. Like one of the things that I kind of really established once I rebranded was like this is a luxury streetwear. So I had a price point that I said I was never going under as far as things, and I had like I said, I wanted to focus all on the quality and all on the garments and stuff like that. So I could charge the prices that I do charge without getting any pushback or resentment.
Hmm.
With you just starting, a lot of times, sometimes you know how it is, Christian. When you just start, you want to get those customers out there. So you might not have got a customer in months or ever, and that one person might come and they be talking to you like, you know, fuck it, just give me $50, just because you want to get your feet wet and stuff like that. Which sometimes can be good, but I also tell people, nah, because then you training yourself to sell
Right?
yourself short.
Limit.
So
Yeah.
a lot of times early on when I had those plainer designs and stuff like that, it was sometimes I was never resentment. Why is this way? Well, this is a different utility suit. You can wear it any season. It's waterproof. You could da da da. And I know that certain people, yes, they did have pushback, but at the those people who did buy it, they got the value of it. So now when I'm charging certain things, they understand it. If that makes sense to you, like when you commit to your value, you grow with your value, like you said in the what's the name, like and
And
it's what I was telling y'all about when we was kind of really planning the showcase and stuff like that. You train them to ask for discounts. So if you continue to get discounts, they always gonna be looking for that discount. Man, you did it all the time and stuff like that. So that's why if you notice this Black Friday came and stuff like that, I have never done like a discount like a huge 25 50% off because I feel like my brand has value and stuff like that. Yes, I do free shipping. Yes, we'll do the 10% off and stuff like that. But when it comes to like that mass discount and stuff like that, I don't feel like none of my products should be at a discounted rate. You know what I mean? Now, do we have certain opportunities that you can get things like you said, Christian, at a discounted rate? Yes, but like, to me, that value point is a very, very, very important thing because when you look at something that's cheap, it's always going to be considered cheap, and it's going to be hard to get it above that uh, price point once it's labeled as cheap and stuff like that. So
I had to
stop shopping.
realize certain things as well. Like when I had to realize that customers don't, when they select a photographer, 9 times out of 10, they're not selecting the photographer based on price. They're selecting a photographer based on, I think, how I might have approached them, like what kind of questions I asked them about their shoot, right? How did I kind of get some, what kind of initial information did I get in the consultation with the customer? I think that kind of differentiates you from how you might work from somebody else, and also what their perceived vision for what I want to deliver is going to be. That's the reason why they pick a photographer, not so much because of the price, because you could charge less, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the business. People pick the photographer based on perception. What did they think I'm going to deliver for them? Because they're not going to know until I actually take the pictures. And then, how did I make them feel during the process of selecting a photographer? That's what's going to really drive them to make the decision to select me over someone else. And if someone is motivated by price, then maybe I'm not the best photographer.
Yeah, no word. Pricing matter, but like I said, how them images and stuff like that look. Then also too, you gotta remember like how you said you doing this. Like me, I be like, yo, I know for a fact the work that I'm putting in like for these pieces. So I be damn if I'm doing all this quality check, making ensuring like these pieces and stuff like that gonna last, and I'm gonna do all that shit to throw a hoodie on the website for $20. Hell no, like no. There's no way in the world like I'm about to do that shit. That would be no purpose in me having a clothing line. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way with you, like as a photographer. Like yo, like I'm spending. It's not even just the editing part. It's like yo, I'm invested this much money in my equipment. I'm invested this much money in the time and setting up those shots and stuff like that. I will be robbing myself giving you that at a discounted price. So you also got to make sure you're not robbing yourself because it's gonna be pretty sure you know how it is being a mother and having the 9 to 5 at the same time. There's gonna be a lot of sacrifices that you gotta make, and it would be unfair to those sacrifices that you made for you to make another sacrifice on top of that for somebody who, like I said. And then
Yeah.
most of the people who asking for a discount or asking for those type of opportunities, those are one time or not consistent buyers and stuff like that. For the most part, the people who really genuinely mess with you, they gonna come out of pocket for whatever it costs and stuff like that. So I didn't set some prices and shit. Like people would have bought stuff like right off me or right like that I'm not selling. I'm like, I just threw a price. I'm like, damn, you really bought that shit? I was just
Yeah.
sitting
And
there hoping you wouldn't buy this shit. Like literally just happened
another
this
thing,
past fashion week. I had a piece I didn't want to sell and set a price and motherfucker like cash at me ASAP. I'm like, damn. Like, so
and yeah, Lenora, I think another thing to consider, right, is like your whole body of experience. So although you want to get into being a life coach is something like you have not necessarily done before, you have like a ton of work being a guidance counselor, which is close, right?
Mhm.
Um, Again, I've had my photography business now for like 4 years, but at the same token, I've worked in corporate America for over 30 years. I definitely know how to establish relationships. I know how to deliver on expectations. I know how to stay on schedule. I know how to communicate effectively with people, both written and verbally. These are the things that, add value to your product that maybe someone else does not have and cannot offer. So what other value can you add to your product or service that may not be inherent to that customer, but you're going to be delivering this to them? It's going to separate you from, you know, some of your competition.
Yeah, you're right. And like just me, Leonora, there's so many dimensions to who I am. Like I don't know if you guys know the other stuff that I do, but for some reason I just don't feel like mentioning it. Military, right?
Okay, there you go. There you
There's
go.
so much leadership. There's like adjusting, when it's chaotic. There's so many different levels to me. Like it's ridiculous. I actually used to do hair too. Locks and cornrows, and I used to work in this shop over in when I used to live in New Rochelle, and my prices were like dirt ass cheap because I remember I've always had locks. You guys know me with braids, but I remember how much I used to pay, and I hated going in for an appointment and not being in the chair when my appointment is. Now, let me say, for anybody who's watching who has ever been a client of mine, I am sorry. There are times when
Mhm.
there are times when I'm like, yeah, I got you at 4, and then I'm like, oh my God, like I gotta go get my son, or I gotta go do this, or I'm just coming from this. Could you just, be patient with me? So, that definitely happens. But I don't. I remember the experiences that I've had when I had to pay for services, and I've tried when I've been doing hair for the last maybe I think it was 3 years I was working in that shop that I would give them an experience that's unforgettable. Even if I am running late, right? The way I wash the client's hair, the time I take to make sure their parts look clean, and I'm not just doing one wash and then um putting in conditioner. Like I'm really trying to get out the whole day stress. You know what I'm saying? Your whole week stress. The last time you washed your hair, I'm trying to get rid of all of that for you. It's all about the experience. So with everything that I've been like putting my hands on that I know I can monetize, I'm gonna be intentional about honoring my value and like all the dimensions of like, you know, the
Yes.
services that make me unique, that make me stand out.
Yeah,
So
you're multidimensional. So, that all goes into your pricing. It's like, your whole
yeah,
body of experience, everything, all the intangibles that you're going to bring to the table. They all have value.
yeah,
And
yeah.
another thing I learned too is always getting back to the genesis of everything, which is like doing what you love to do and having fun out of it. Like I've been saying this whole entire life. Once I got back to having fun, everything like came easy. Like the sales started to come in. I feel like I got more sales once I got back to being myself and having fun and stuff like that. And I spoke with Christian about this. Like when I even you, Lenore, we kind of really had this conversation early on when it came with picking, scouting the location and stuff like that. When stuff is deep rooted in money, it get tricky and stuff like that because then your only focus is money and you lose the passion and you lose the
Mhm.
creativity and you kind of really neglect the art of things, vice versa. Like now, like I tell people, like, yo, if you tell me right now, like I would never make another dollar off a design, I would still wake up tomorrow and do this shit with the same amount of passion every day. And that's when I realized that I was doing something that I love because I will literally, like how you said, I'm waking. Ask Christian, I will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and literally send him some shit. Sometimes I be having to apologize to him and Rose all the time. I'm like, oh shit, I just sent them this shit. Like,
You'd be
and
surprised because my ass be up. He's like, yo, when the fuck do you sleep, bro?
like it get tricky. Like that's why I said that passionate side. I mean, it's a gift and a curse too. Like with me coming from, I would say like the situation I'm coming from, losing my mom and not having like that close relationship with my family and stuff like that. I would say like it's those seasons where it's like holiday times or stuff like that. It's just a regular day for me, and I'm hitting people up like it's a normal day. And then sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I just hit this motherfucker up on Thanksgiving talking about something, and it's a normal day. So just having that passion, knowing how to balance that passion for me.
Yeah. I don't know, but I was just going through like I don't know how long you staying on, Marquise. I don't want to just be talking and take up your live.
Where you good? We just vibing out and tell the truth. We
Oh.
in OT, yeah,
In a second, after I share this, I gotta get Joshua ready for bed. But
right,
what was I gonna say? Oh, I was just experiencing like serious burnout.
yeah.
So, because I was working as a recruiter for the National Guard, and that's a full-time commitment. Like you're still under part-time contract, but it's a voluntary full-time position. So, oh my God, like I experienced so much burnout. It was crazy. And I didn't even know that it was burnout until recently, right? Like I think now that I've talked about it a couple times and I've been able to sit with it, it started like in September of last year,
Yeah,
right? I was already under stress and not like there's no I love talking to people. I love going out into the community. I love, putting in work. But so that part of it wasn't stressful. It was kind of sort of like the environment. And then coupled with the stuff that I have going on at home, right? And just my own stuff, it it caused me to spiral.
yeah.
And I did not want to go to work. I didn't want to put my uniform on. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to answer phone calls. I didn't want to send no emails. I would be calling my sister like, yo, I do not want to go to work. I do not want to go to work. I just want to do what I want to do. I want to do what I want to do. And she'd be like, Lenora, you know that's not realistic, right? And I'm mad because I'm like, yo, you're not really hearing
Why
me.
isn't
Like,
it?
you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not hearing me. Like, I want to. And it was that at that point, now that I'm I'm so much past it, I can see that yes, I'm kind of teetering on wanting to leave the 9 to 5 and branch off into the things that I want to do, the things that make me happy. Because thankfully over the summer and working with you guys, I was able to see like this is really what I want. This is where I want to be. This and right. It's not but it's this and right. And but yeah, she was like, that's not realistic. but I had overextended myself because of the parts of me that weren't healed yet. And what I mean by that is when you grow up, because I lost my mother too, Marquise, when I was 2. I lost both my parents when I was 2.
My condolences.
Yeah, and when you grow up, how old were you, Marquise?
I think I was like fresh 18, 18,
Oh,
19, 20, 13.
that's still young. That's still, needing your mom, right? You remember the relationship, So when you grow up not having that essential connection, and then you have caregivers who also don't give you that type of connection, it's like it's hard. Like I can't. I mean, anyway.
No,
But you begin to people please, right? You people please, and you want to put yourself places because you don't feel like you belong. You overextend yourself to people because you need.
suggested opportunities you know you should be
Yes,
saying
yes,
no to,
yes, man, yes, man, yes, man,
holding
yes,
on
man,
to
yes.
people you shouldn't be holding on to.
Listen, and
Yeah,
like I'm a genuine person. Like I think God definitely has, like, that is a part of my purpose to really serve people,
yeah.
right? But there's a boundary that you have to put in place when the extension that you're giving of yourself is not serving you.
No, I agree. I
You
agree.
Yeah.
And
you
I'm
don't.
pretty sure you probably see that just with you coming in to yourself these past couple months where you look back at like, yo, I was really in a dark place and like I'm giving y'all, like I said, kind of really the clean version of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Saying it was just the plain designs, but yo, I was like the conversations we have now, Christian, you kind of really probably could see it even beforehand, even just me, Lenore, y'all see, talking to learning how to communicate with people because I was just in this bubble where it was just me and designing. Like I was designing, coming home, that's it. Like if I do travel and do stuff like that, it's like with my partner, with like you know what I'm saying. I'm isolated, like how you said, Lenore, like in your own heads and stuff like that, and then I noticed too, like she said, like just talking to people and having those conversations is like, yo, I'm not okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and having those conversations. I remember the first time I did that or said that, like, I came back to my girlfriend's house and I'm like, yo, I'm not okay. I literally was like, you know how I be having one of those moments and stuff like that. And I'm like, I literally told her this. I'm like, I'm tired of being that strong person. I just want to just be. I said it. I tell you all the time, words and spills. I'm like, I just want to be weak. I just want to lay here. You feel me? I had just lost my grandma. I was like, I just want to lay here. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to give no motivational quotes. Just leave me alone and stuff like that. Like, and I had meant it. Like, I had just wanted to, like, I don't know, just feel that nothingness. Like, I get why certain people turn to drugs and stuff like that. Luckily, like I said, I have that strong mind and shit like that. But I'm like, yo, like, I just want to feel nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for a little bit. Like, and just to get out of those dark points. And that's where, like, I preach to people and I always tell people, like, having those communities is important. Like you go through people like been through your situation, and just sometimes like I said at the just situation, just talking to somebody and somebody saying, "Nora, you doing just fine," or just, "Yo, I never forget I was going through it again." Like my neighbor, not used to seeing me flip out and stuff like that. Come in, she gave me this hug, and I will never forgive it. It was like a hug that I ain't felt in a while. I'm like, damn, my lightweight needed that shit. I'm wiping a tear away from my eye. Like, get off me. I mean, but we go through that, and pretty sure, Lenore, you could kind of relate to this. When you go through those dark and depressional moments, coming out of those almost be shell shocking, and it's almost like being in a new world. And y'all see that working with me sometimes. I gotta, all right, just be the. You could trust people a little bit, big dog. You ain't gotta be, you know what I mean. It just come from being in those situations, like you said, those people situations, those being around the wrong crowd of people. And yo, is you trying to be funny? Because I know somebody who did some shit like that before, and you doing that same characteristic stuff like that. No, it's not like that. It's something totally different. So allowing yourself to heal and having those conversations, like I said, I'm happy that now I'm able to have people in my life where I could pick up and call like, yo, like it's not okay. Like me and Christian had a conversation like I would say shortly before Ghetto Fabulous. I'm like, yo, like I'm not gonna cap. Like normally this is the time of of the year where I'm kind of really isolated because my mom passed away November 6, 2013. So that month, I'm normally like isolated. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not doing nothing. So to see me doing now ghetto fabulous and smiling and laughing and having these type of conversations and stuff like that, it's just dope to me. Like it's just like a dope experience and just knowing that beforehand when you were saying it, like, yo, I'm healed, everything okay, it was
Bless
like
you.
I'm lying and stuff like that. I wasn't really actually okay and stuff like that. But to actually say that shit from a genuine perspective kind of really feel good. Like, especially
Yeah.
coming out of dark places.
Creativity heals wounds, man.
Listen, I
Word.
feel like the dopest creatives have the darkest of wounds. And not to say like, because everybody has their stuff. Everybody has
Yeah, yeah.
a story. Everybody has a deck of cards that was dealt. But like the whole creativity is a gift. Creativity is the way out when you feel like there's no way out. Like if I tell y'all how many notebooks I have, just writing, 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 you know, like that has been
Notebook.
my
I got
sanctuary.
stickies on the wall.
What do you have?
I have stickies on the wall. I write
Oh,
affirmations all of the time.
affirmations.
You know,
You know,
little things to keep me like grounded, or things that I like think about when something happens, and I'm like, oh, let me just put this down right now because I need to deal with how I feel about this right now. Right? All those little things help, and they help because later on when I'm working on a project or something, I'll see them out the side of my eye, and they'll just give me like a little
reminder.
glimmer of inspiration or something that I was like little stuck on, and just frees my mind.
Yeah. And it
Back to those notes.
just like you said, it frees. Say that again.
I said we got to get back to those journals and stuff like that. Like writing, people do the IG notes, but I feel like when you actually write it down and
Yeah.
it gives a different. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure
It
y'all go through those emotions. Like yo, I was really going through it during this period of time. And I, I'm pretty sure y'all got y'all goals. Even you ever look back at yo, I'm really living through the goals and stuff like that that I really
yes.
set out.
Yeah.
Like
There's
It
never a
you know,
notebook like that's not out of reach. And like it's just wrought with like all kinds of notes and things that I'm working on and projects, and yeah, I keep one like close by all of the time. Facts, bro.
Listen, them that paper and pencil, the pen and pad, the sketchbook, any type of mail, old mail that got a clean back. I'm turning it around, writing something. Cause and you know what's funny? I used to never understand affirmations. It
yeah,
used to feel weird to me, like, why do I have to say I am the master of my fate or money comes easily, money
mm-hmm.
comes frequently? Like, why do I have to say those things?
Nah,
But
word,
it's changing your mindset.
Yep.
words and
It's
spells.
words are spelled and it's changing. Like if you say like I really want to be a millionaire, why can't you just say I am a millionaire and believe it?
Yeah. What I learned is healing is often like the movie What's Love Got to Do with It. And we are often Tina Turner. If you look through it, she had been through so much, and whether it's that mental abuse I put her through and the physical abuse. But if you remember when she started healing and she started doing those affirmations, come on, like it's just like that. That's how it is in life. Come on, we gonna fight. We gonna fight. I'm not taking your shit no more. And that's how I tell people to kind of really be with your energy. Like we got so used to accepting what's less for us. And like you said, you got to say those affirmations because we didn't been around those broken relationships or those toxic environments to where you were beaten down or certain things were kind of really stripped out of you. Is and I don't mean beaten down as far as physical. I just mean from like a mental standpoint where like people didn't use their words to kind of really disarm you and stuff like that. So now I feel like we stepping into that time where them affirmations is starting to work and karma is starting to come back around because as you see, we having these conversations, and a lot of people are healing. And a lot of people know it's like, you know what? I don't like to be treated like that. Like you said, you know what? I actually don't want to go to work. You know what? I actually want to do this. Like, you know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
feel like
I
it's
always
coming
say
back.
it's the foundation because God damn it, if you don't believe it, who won't believe you?
That's
Nah,
it.
Right?
word.
That's the
Right?
part.
So, you know, we all have self doubt, we have moments where we may not feel as confident, but I always think like, if you constantly remind yourself that, the affirmation, the goals that you set, and you keep like consistently working towards your goals and like crossing those small milestones in order to like see where you are, like where you started from to where you are today and how far you're away from achieving a goal, or even if you've achieved a small goal, celebrating those small victories, letting people
Yes.
know about them, right? I think I celebrate the smallest of victories. I'm always ready to celebrate something.
You have to. You have to.
Especially nowadays, I feel like we get so much negativity thrown at us. Black man versus the black woman, Trump versus Biden, this versus that. Is they gonna shut down food stamps? And it's like you constantly being fear mongered. So when it's time, like you only want to work, you only want to stress on the negative stuff. Like you said, Chris, yo, damn, she put chicken on my bowl and it's a steak bowl. I just saved $3. I'm getting happy over little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yo, I just thought this stuff it'd be dope as hell to put in the studio. Like I got it on sale. Yo, somebody just gave away a whole desk or a mannequin or something like you said, just little stuff like that just get me happy. Or I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
like with you having a child and stuff like that, just getting happy, like I said, at those little moments that you once didn't able to have. Because like you said, I was in that box and kind of really depressed and not able to give him the response or the attention that he once needed and stuff like that. To now, like I said, probably being happy about the little stuff, the picture he drew at school, or him
Yeah.
coming home with good grades, or y'all cooking dinner together and stuff like that. That just I feel like we gotta get back to just
Hmm.
having those small moments.
Yeah, it's true. And the other thing I'm learning too is like we have to find a way to become and be embody the energy that we seek, right? Like if you want positivity, if you want to have you if you want to be happy, then you have to be happy. And sometimes we have to go through those do this dark shadow work to be able to come out, you know, with gratitude that all this stuff has happened to you, all this stuff is happening because you still have your life. You know what I'm saying? Like even Marquise, I always tell you
And,
I'm so thankful and grateful for the opportunities that you've given me. Even Dan, right? I tell him all the time, thank you so much because I wouldn't even be here with you talking to both of you right now if it wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? I am extremely grateful. Every tear, every dark night, every failed relationship, every like just everything that did not sit well.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Like
And you
just
picking up from those experiences too, because you just said it, like healing be a lot, because we see like the people make healing seem like it's a fun sport. Like, yo, I wrote in my journal, I did this meditation, but a lot of dark shit that I had to look at in the mirror when healing was like a lot of toxic shit that I myself like that I did, like just
mm,
stand up late at night, damn near like, yo, damn, I can't believe I said this to that person. Yo,
mm,
damn, I can't believe I did this. Like Christian, we talked about it a few days ago. Like, yo, damn, I shouldn't have said it like that. I know I was mad, but like yo, it hurt me to have like look back and look at certain things, like and certain situations. I'm like, yo, I could have handled that just a little bit better. But that's the hardest part about this thing we call life. Like nobody ever taught us how to have these conversations or how to handle these emotions or how to handle certain things. So a lot of this shit be kind of really, I would say, trial and error. So that's
yeah,
what I would say is just the luck of the draw or the luck of the universe, where it's like the people who I say supposed to be there, they gonna kind of really be there and they gonna kind of really grow with you. Because I got people who have been there through every single moment of my journey. Like they haven't missed like a beat. And I got people who was like, yo, damn, I wish they could see what I'm doing now, or remember having conversations with certain people and stuff like that. Like, and it hurts. I said it's people who y'all probably talked to 2, 3 days ago, 2, 3 months ago, and it's like, yo, we was just like this, and now like we not talking. That's kind of really how life goes and stuff like that.
mm-hmm. And you have to
that's the
be
fact.
willing to have those hard conversations. Again, like what you were saying before, like I just spoke to my girlfriends from college, three of them in particular.
Yeah.
And my birthday's coming up, you guys, on Christmas. So just reminding y'all.
Double
Yeah.
celebration. Bang
Wait,
bang.
Oh,
so right. So I feel like for my birthday, for most of my life, I have not felt celebrated the way that I would like. I've not felt special, because I share my birthday is on a holiday. So
That,
everybody else is around their families, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own stuff. But my closest friend, I've known them since I was 18. You know what I'm saying? They have contributed in a huge way to who y'all see in front of you, right?
Oh,
So I appreciate them, but I was like, yo, going into 40, like I'm not about to I don't want to hold on to this no more. Like
mhm.
if y'all really truly genuinely have my best interest at heart, and you are willing to hear my shit, my mess, without judgment, then yes, I want y'all to come with me to the top. But
Oh,
if after we have this conversation and I feel as though, you know, there's still some like facade, there's like surface level stuff, then I'm okay with moving on. Like respectfully, I love y'all. I care about y'all. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to y'all. But I'm just gonna go this way, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. You know, because
that's
now I have to
self-sufficient.
advocate for myself. I have to advocate. And I have to create healthy boundaries for myself. But it was a great conversation. I felt so light after.
that's how I'm telling you, those be feeling it be uncomfortable, but it be feeling so good, and I be feeling like they be needed to happen because, like you said, we be in certain modes where we don't feel celebrated. And I feel nobody deserve that, and we then got to a point where we make excuses. Oh well, you grown now, you're not supposed to have a birthday. No, we all supposed to be celebrated and loved. It just like I was just telling somebody the other day. Like we went from a time period where we literally arguing about who was the first person to tell somebody happy birthday to nowadays people genuinely forgot that it was your birthday randomly and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
just getting yourself, like I said, around the right people who could put up with your stuff and be there with you through the dark times and be there through the good times. Like what's crazy is I don't even be knowing what the hell I be sending Christian pictures for because like we don't got an upcoming like as far as collaborators, we don't got an upcoming project, but it's just so crazy how now we just be having regular conversations outside of the feel me, like
The
photos and stuff
business.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so having people who like there for you when it's the good moments, when it's the bad moments. Like he start off when I tell you every conversation, I even got to get better with it. He start off, good morning, how was your day going? How's life and stuff like that going and stuff like that. To have those type of people and stuff like that, just be dope. Like you know what I mean? Like vice
That's
versa, the people who
I ain't
only
gonna
call
front, yo.
you
That's
just
that.
for
I'm like that because again, I worked in corporate so long, and one of the big pet peeves is like, all right, it's 8:45 in the morning. We all logged in, and somebody hit me on Slack with the, "Did you do such and such and such?" or "Can you give me such and such and such?" God damn it, you can't even say, "Dog, good morning."
how
Like,
you feeling, how you doing, checking
how
in.
your day
Yeah.
going before you ask me for something. So I
Yes.
always like to give people like a good greeting and salutation before I start with what I might need from them or something I might ask for them from later. Let's just start the tone off right. And I think
Yes.
that's the easy part,
It's just
you
being
know.
kind. It's being kind and just being there. Yeah, and I love to see this because Christian, like usually in this type of field, you see photographers that just come and go. They come, they do what they got to do, and then that's it. Like seeing your guys' dynamic, and just to be 100% transparent, when you have like mommy issues and all the issues that I have had, you become very hyper vigilant to people and how people interact with you and other people. And I
oh,
noticed, Christian, that there's this sincerity to you that I'm also very appreciative of. When I was walking down the stairs, we were all walking out, and you were like, "Who's that, Lenora?" You don't even know. You don't even know how that touched me. It was like a tap on the shoulder, turn around, mad quick, like, of course that's me. Christian, like you saw me, like you see me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying when I say you saw me. Not just because you physically saw me, like you recognize me, but like I could have been anybody else. With a black jacket walking down the stairs. But
oh,
you pay attention enough. That's what it is. You pay attention enough, to know that it was me and not someone else.
And make
So
Yeah.
everybody feel important too.
yes, you know, and even just you sitting here listening to us, like, you know.
Communication part, because man, like when I tell you, even with me, like that's why I told him he helped me so much, and throughout the process, he don't even know. I be trying to get better with that, because y'all know me. I will literally start the day off. That's what I be trying to say. I'm like, yo, I'll literally just sent that paragraph of them tasks at 6 o'clock in the morning, like everybody up, just like me, yo. Like, so now I try to be a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit better with it. Sometimes I forget, but I'm getting a little bit better when I had the good morning to it and how you do it. And I try to make it be from a genuine perspective too. That's the part too.
Yes.
Having it come from a genuine perspective, not like a yo Christian, how was your day? Okay, now that you did that, we gotta
Right.
finish
Yeah.
finish it like that. So we may, like I said, chop it up like. So how we having a conversation now? It's crazy. Even if we went on live, this would probably be a fucking conversation that we'd be having, and then we'd be like, okay, even he had to gear me back to the conversation. All right, check your phone. I sent the Google pictures over. Check the pictures because I got to go walk the dog, yo. We talking about this, that, and the third. But definitely, like I said, having it, everything you do come from a genuine perspective, especially when you're checking on people. Because we talk about it all the time, whether it's a celebrity dying, people be so impacted by that. But it's just like I said, to everyday people, you never know like when somebody's journey comes to an end as far as being on this rim and stuff like that. So I always attack every situation with me being around people is like, yo, this may be my last time. And same thing with me, like I want to give them that experience because you never know. Like it always scared me. Like I always tell people, this what kind of really made me change more for the better is what stories being told after you gone. Like you hear like certain stories, like this person was this person was this person was this, and it kind of scared me. I'm not gonna put person because I don't know who watching live and stuff like that, but losing someone and hearing like the stories being told about them and seeing how their legacy was afterwards, and it scared me. And I'm like, no, that cannot be me. Like that cannot be me. I cannot have that many people mad at me. I cannot have that many
Mm.
people. You know what I mean? So just like I said, protecting the legacy as well, knowing how every conversation you have and every move you make impacts people in the long run.
You know,
Mhm.
and another thing, you know, because for so long, you know, basically I've been in sales my whole career. You know, whether it was, you know, my retail career or my corporate career as a recruiter. As a recruiter, I was selling opportunity. Lenore, you was a recruiter, so maybe
Mhm.
you understand. You know, you're
Yeah.
selling opportunity, right? Um, when you talk to people, you don't know what that other person is going through. You don't know if they're having a good day, they had a bad day, maybe they lost somebody or someone's sick, maybe they sick, maybe they had some argument on the commute in with someone, you know, road rage incident, or someone spilling coffee on them on the train. You don't know what kind of day they have. They can have a fantastic day, they can have a terrible day. So always starting off the communication like on a high note, positive note. You trying to reset the frame to where it's a positive like beginning point, even if this person's having a bad day. Maybe the person's having a bad day, and like just hearing that, hey, good afternoon, good morning, how you doing, how's things going, can bring that person down where they can actually start to communicate with you effectively because they having something that's really rough. It could be anything. I always say people are
Mhm.
going through all kinds of shit. You will never know what kind of like load they're bearing on their shoulders. As I know, I bear a lot, and I don't let anybody in. You know, and I try to stay even kilter. So even if I'm going through something crazy, if I'm going through something good, you know, you're not really going to be able to tell. But there are moments, and people will be like, "Yo, bro, you good?" I'm like, I'm an open book. I'm like, nah. It is what it is. Um, but usually it'll take someone to ask me to open up to that. And if I'm not greeted right, I'm not going to be bothered because I know they don't
Mhm.
want to hear it. But I feel someone's genuinely concerned about how I'm feeling, well, then I can open up. So
Mhm.
yeah, man. I think you know, caring about people and their general well-being, that's the basis for any good relationship that you're going to have with someone, especially in business, because people don't have to do business with you. They can do business with
Mhm.
somebody else, right?
Mhm.
And I know there's a lot of sayings, but They may not remember everything that you did for them, but they remember how you made them feel.
Yep.
Right? If you can make people feel good, make people feel appreciated, make people feel valued, more than likely they're willing to do business with you again.
And not with deceit though, because there's a thin line between counterfeit
Heavy on that.
and
Yeah.
real.
And you
Yeah,
can
no.
always tell when it's contrived. Like Marquise was saying, they're like, "Well, how's things going? Oh, really, it's really bad. My dog is sick, and I'm not feeling too good. Sorry to hear that. But bro, here's what I'm really reaching out to you for.
Nah, no, word. If there's something that ain't listening, I ain't gonna cap. We can't even do business because I already know that energy and stuff like that off. So I be heavy on that energy thing. Like if it don't feel genuine, don't even like come at me. And that's why we're like you see with me, like shit. Sometimes with me, that's why I tell you all the time I do not like having conversations, text messaging or doing anything because how I respond or what's saying on there, I notice it may come off as rude. It may come off as
Mhm.
arrogant. But then when you talk to me, oh, motherfucker, you just meant this. All right, now I understand. He ain't mean no harm and stuff like that. That's why I always tell people, like, yo, just call me. Because, like, I might over explain some stuff on the message or I might be a little bit more passionate when I respond or put an exclamation mark where I shouldn't and it come off the wrong way. And now, like, it tarnishes the relationship. And I know everybody want people to feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's that, like, you feel me? Sometimes, like I said, it's just us learning, like I said, how to speak to people and how to have these certain conversations and stuff like that.
It's hard to interpret tone in a text message. You're like, what the fuck is
That's why I always, if you notice, if I'm going through my mode, I always tell people, like, no, people say it's ignoring, but I'm not. It's nothing. We can't talk. None of that. Just because I've been in those situations where it's you and somebody cool, but it's that one moment y'all got that argument and you then shut the motherfucker up. That's why your mom died and I got around you then. Whoa, show
Oh, they
pause,
cut too
damn
deep.
shit.
They
Yeah.
cut too deep.
I
You know
had
what I mean?
a
Even myself, I done said some shit like, yo, like chill the fuck out. Like, you feel me? That's why I always tell people I don't wanna be around when the tensions is high because we all healing and we all looking for a reason to unleash all this trauma. Like even though we said we heal and stuff like that, that's why we tell people I really don't be wanting to get mad because if I have a reason to unrelease all this trauma, it's not gonna go good. Like in most situations, and I'm gonna always take it to the furthest extent. And dealing with so much pain, I learned it's not necessarily what the person did. It's like I wanna
release.
unleash this, release this pain. So that's where I see where certain people accidentally kill somebody, or accidentally certain situations happen. That's what I always tell people. Like you said, Christian, you never know what somebody going through. Even myself, I don't say shit because I don't want nobody to respond to me a certain type of way and stuff like that. So just being aware of that for the tough.
Yeah. This is great conversation, but I have to go, you guys.
Yeah,
Hours,
it's time to wrap it up. It's 10 o'clock.
I wanted
Hey,
to
but thank you
acknowledge
everybody that
Sylvia.
tuned in and joined. Hey, yeah, hey Sylvia.
What month are you? She's a Cap. Oh, are you a Capricorn too?
I want to say, I think, did she say
She's
she's January? I don't know if she's still in here.
is
I
she
want to say
January?
she's January because I remember somebody said,
Aw.
Thanks, Sylvia.
yeah, I know she's
Oh, she's January. Okay.
All right,
I'm
so
really
it's all of y'all, because my wife is the 13th, so
Oh, well, no, she's a Sag. Your wife.
she's at the end,
Wait, no. Is she December 13th or January 13th?
January 13th.
Oh no, she's a Capricorn. Yeah, she
Yeah,
is a Capricorn.
yeah,
When's your birthday, Chris?
June 7th.
Oh, you're a Cancer.
No, Gemini.
no
Oh
Gemini.
no, yes, you're a Gemini. Sorry. Yes.
Although my real sign is the money sign, but
What's the money sign?
No, you
you
mean the
know,
actual money
dollar
sign.
Oh, the
sign.
money. Woo, it just went over my head.
You mean the actual money sign.
The
But
money
no,
sign.
this was like I said, same way with Christian. I want to get into us kind of like I said, just doing these lives more often. And like I said, there's gonna be more people joining the lives, just having these open dialogues and these open conversations to just build a community. And same way we started off talking about ghetto fabulous, just talking about stuff outside of business as well. Because like we said in the conversation, just being able to release certain conversations and getting certain things off our chest kind of really feels like a lot. And there's not a lot of outlets or opportunities for people to feel safe to talk to people and them to understand it. So definitely gonna be having more of these lives and stuff like that for
I
sure.
hope everybody got a little something out of it, a little bit of value, and it was great. And get your popcorn ready for more content from Ghetto Fabulous. It'll be out next week.
Yeah,
And
appreciate
hey,
you too.
Lenore,
I
thank
don't
you
think you
so
hear
much. Mr. Moderator.
Lenore. He definitely said we got you this time on the modeling side. So we definitely
Uh,
appreciate you for coming through
of
on the
Yes,
modeling
course,
thank
side.
you.
like trust
Yeah,
me. Thank you to infinity and beyond. I'm grateful for you guys. So I'm always gonna support no matter what.
for sure, for sure.
All right, you
Definitely
guys.
Everyone,
enjoy
have a
the
great
rest of
night, y'all.
your night. Yep.
Bye, guys.
Jumping in live. Yep.
Okay.